You guys really enjoyed my 20-year rebuild with the Golden State Warriors. So today, we're going to be doing another 20-year rebuild with a team that's in a similar position, at least talent-wise, in the Western Conference, but probably has a brighter future given their young star. And that is going to be the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, we're going to be building around Luka Doncic. My goal today is to win at least 5 rings in this 20-year rebuild. And another challenge I'm going to implement for these 20-year rebuilds, at one point throughout this, I have to strip the whole team down, which means I have to go through a complete total teardown, and I have to rebuild, and I have to basically trade away my top 5 players on the team, which is going to have some strategy to it. If I feel like my championship window is open, I don't want to do that, but I have to do it at least at one point throughout this rebuild. So right now, if I decided to do it in year number 1, I'd be trading away Luka, Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Gafford, and Derek Lively, which would be kind of insane. So maybe that window comes when Klay retires, Kyrie's a little bit older, we get priced out on Derek Lively, or he's making a ton of money. Or maybe it comes in year number 15 when Luka is 35 and I should trade him to a contender, kind of like Damian Lillard was just traded away from Portland to Milwaukee, something like that. And if you think I can maybe implement that in a better way at all, please let me know in the comments for the next 20-year rebuild. But yeah, we're going to have Luka, we're going to have Kyrie in our backcourt, we have Klay, PJ Washington, Derek Lively at the 5, with Gafford off the bench, Najee Marshall, Jaden Hardy, Quentin Grimes, and OMP just getting a little bit of minutes. And we do end up beating the Spurs on opening night. Luka Doncic drops 34 points. Obviously, I want to make him one of the greatest players of all time. So the Mavericks also don't own much draft capital. We do own our first round pick this year, which is nice. 2026, we own it as well. 2027, we do not own it. It's going to go to Charlotte from the PJ Washington trade. In 2028, we do have a swap with OKC. 2029, in 2028, we do have a swap, but not favorable for us. 2029, our pick is going to Houston. And we start the season 2-0. We beat Kevin Durant in the Phoenix Suns. And as long as we have Luka Doncic on this team, my goal every year is to win a championship. And this Mavericks team is killing it. We are 42-9 at the trade deadline. And I don't know if we're going to break up this team right now going forward. I guess I could have mentioned guys that weren't in the rotation. I think like Dwight Powell, no need to be in the rotation when we have Derek Lively and we have Daniel Gafford. Same with Maxi Kleber. Spencer Dinwiddie, I was giving more of an opportunity to Jaden Hardy and Quentin Grimes. Dante Exum, I could get into the rotation as well, but we'll see. I guess if I'm going to make a trade at the deadline. We are tied with the Minnesota Timberwolves for the best team in the Western Conference. We have a 13.2 point differential. They have a 16.4. That is insane. And Luka Doncic is averaging a 31-point triple-double, followed by Kyrie Irving averaging 23, 4, and 5 on great shooting splits, 1.1 steals a night, a very good number 2 scoring option. Klay Thompson is knocking down 41% of his threes, so this Mavericks tenure is off to a good start. I would like for Jaden Hardy to be a little bit more efficient going forward. Najee Marshall has been great for us. Obviously, we're getting solid production out of Derek Lively and Gafford. Not as much from PJ Washington, which is a little scary. Quentin Grimes has been kind of bad, which is a shame. Same with OMP. And we are going to be doing this trade with the Brooklyn Nets. So we're going to be giving them Dante Exum. We're going to give up on OMP, I think. I just don't see a path for him to really develop onto this team with the limited minutes. I'm going to throw in a second-round pick. I mean, I don't mind taking on Jalen Wilson, who hasn't been as good in this game as he's been in real life. So he's 24 years old. I'll take on his contract. But we're getting Dorian Finney-Smith. Welcome back to Dallas. He was in that Kyrie Irving trade back in 2023, and he's going to be a good bench player for us come playoff time. So I know that means we only have 4 minutes opened up in the rotation, but I don't think Quentin Grimes is going to be in it right now. I think we're going to go about 20 minutes a night to DFS. I like having Finney-Smith and Najee Marshall off the bench. I worry about the offense in the second unit, like shot creating wise, because Jaden Hardy hasn't hit that step yet this year, but at least we can stagger Luka's minutes and Kyrie Irving's minutes because they're only not playing on the floor each about 11 minutes a night. So we can maybe work those out where they're not really, or at least one of those guys is going to be on the floor at all times. And he's eligible for an extension now, so I'm going to get it done so I don't have to worry about it at that point. Let's re-sign Luka Doncic for 2 more years, meaning he's under team control for the next 4 years. And I'm going to buy low on Quentin Grimes. So he's not having a great season now. He's out of the rotation. And I know committing $15 million to a non-rotational guy isn't maybe the best idea usually, but I do think he's still going to be a good 3-point shooter. And at worst, it's $7.5 million that I can include in a trade. So I'm going to use the bird rights opportunity we have to re-sign him. Finney-Smith, not going to touch that right now. And Luka Doncic gets his first ever MVP award. 31 points, 11 rebounds, 10.5 assists, 51, 43, 84 splits. Reece Shea wins Rookie of the Year. Russ wins 6th Man of the Year in Denver. Okay, Wemby Depoy, Amen Thompson Most Improved. Cam Thomas gets Clutch Player of the Year. Luka Doncic is on all NBA first team, obviously, because he won MVP. So hopefully we can get the trifecta. Hopefully we can get MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, and Finals MVP this year. As we are the 2 seed in the Western Conference, Minnesota is number 1. It's funny because right now in real life, their fans are not a big fan of Julius Randle right now and his effort he's given every night. So they are a 1 seed in this save, though. And Klay Thompson's first year here, he shot 40% from 3 and 90% from the line. We will definitely take that. So we're taking on the Lakers here in round number 1. I mean, we're going up against LeBron and AD. There's definitely a chance where they just dominate our front court. I think we should make some rotational changes because PJ Washington was really bad this year. So I'm going to go like 23 minutes a night to him. Having Lively and Gafford is so nice, but I wonder like at one point would I trade one of them, and that would probably be Gafford. So let's just see. Game number 1 against LA, we do end up winning. Oh my God, we ended up winning by 59 points. Luka just had the greatest game I think I've ever seen. 58 points, 17 rebounds, 21 assists in 43 minutes. That's not real. That is just not real. 58 points in 43 minutes. And he had a triple-double. He had 20 assists, and then he has a 35-point triple-double in game number 2. Also just unreal. Game number 3 goes to the Dallas Mavericks. We end up winning by 50. Luka with a 38-point triple-double. And here we go. Game number 4 goes to Dallas. Luka had 34, 16, and 11. And we're taking on the Denver Nuggets in round number 2. I think this will be a little bit more of a challenging matchup. I hope we get to see Luka versus Jokic in the playoffs at one point, hopefully this year. There was a chance we were going to get it last year, but Minnesota beat Denver in round number 2. Kyrie Irving has a great game 1. Game number 2 does go to Denver. There's our first playoff loss. Wow, we lost by 1 point in overtime, and Luka had a 57-point, almost triple-double, 14 rebounds, 9 assists. He did have 7 turnovers. He took 33 shots. We do win game number 3 on the backs of Kyrie's 28. Luka fouled out in 17 minutes. Game number 4 is going to go to Denver. Okay, they win 127-115. Kyrie with 32. Luka with 25, 15, and 15. Game number 5 goes to Dallas, 118-109. Luka with 31, 11, and 11. Please don't go to a game 7. We do not. We end up winning this series in 6 games. Luka with a 53-point triple-double. And we're either going to take on OKC or Minnesota. It's going to be OKC, who beat Minnesota in 7. So you have New York and Chicago over there. And you have Dallas OKC, a rematch of the round 2 series from last year. We win game number 1. Kyrie with 37. Luka with a 23-point triple-double. Are we going to win it all in year number 1? I'm feeling that vibe right now. We just beat them by 1. We're up 2-0. We're up 3-0 on OKC. Yeah, Luka just put up a 50-point triple-double. He's averaging 37, 12, and 12 in the playoffs. That just doesn't make any sense. And we swept OKC. Luka just had a 52-point triple-double again. How many of those does he have in these playoffs? That is insane. So no surprise, we're going to be taking on the New York Knicks. Shout out to Chicago even making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And Dallas, New York here in the NBA Finals. Let's see what happens. Game number 1 is going to go to the Dallas Mavericks, 119-98. We are 3 games away from winning it all. Game number 2 goes to Dallas, 120-95. This is the Kristaps Porzingis Bowl, the Wesley Matthews, Dennis Smith Jr. Bowl. Oh my God. All right, so we swept round 1. We sweep round 3. Denver takes us to 6. Are we just going to dominate year 1? Wow, we swept the Thunder and the Knicks to win it all. What a performance from Luka, who gets the trifecta of MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, and Finals MVP in the same season. What a year. And what a great start to this 20-year rebuild. Vibes are high. I wanted to win 5 rings. I already got 1 after year number 1. Could we get 20 in this video? It is going to be sad the day that I do have to trade Luka Doncic. But like I said, that could come when he's 35 years old, but that could come right now. For obvious reasons, it's not going to come right now. And we will own a first-round pick in this 2025 draft. It is going to be the last pick in the first round. Nets 1, Wizards 2, Pelicans 3 with all those injuries, Hornets 4, and the Jazz at 5. All right, I want to see if I could somehow trade PJ Washington, who's in the last year of his deal, on draft night for Dante DiVincenzo, who could be a really fun shooter for us off the bench. I don't know if me including Maxi Kleber would get it done. Probably not. All right, so I don't think I'm getting Dante. All right, so I don't know if I'm going to move PJ Washington or Daniel Gafford. They're in the last years of their deals. Okay. Nolan Traore goes over Cooper Flagg with the number 1 pick. The Wizards are trading number 2 for Alperen Sengun, and I see this all the time, and they're going to take Kamal Maluach, right? No, they take Ace Bailey. All right, so Ace Bailey goes to Cooper Flagg. Pairs up with another former number 1 pick. Well, Cooper wasn't number 1, but Zion Williamson from Duke. I mean, Brandon Ingram went to Duke as well. Igor Demin goes number 4 to the Charlotte Hornets. The Jazz at number 5 are trading the pick for Denny Avdia and Jeremy Grant. And Carter Bryant goes number 5 VJ Edgecombe goes 6. Dylan Harper goes all the way to 7 to the Miami Heat. And we're going to get Con Knipple here from Duke, the sharpshooter at number 30, I think is tremendous value. And I'm going to make this trade on draft night. I'm going to get a first round pick next year from the Milwaukee Bucks now that they can move this pick after the draft. It's going to be a swap horse between the Pelicans and the Bucks. So I don't think it's going to be a great pick, but it's something. I am going to be moving PJ Washington and Quentin Grimes for Bobby Portis, who is under contract for the next 2 years, and I think could be a little bit better offensively than PJ Washington. I do worry about the defense slightly with that deal. And I also got Jaren Stevenson from from Alabama with pick 57, which honestly I think is pretty good value. So Kyrie opts out to become a free agent. We're going to look to re-sign him. Finney Smith opts in. Dwight Powell opts in as well. No surprises there. And I'm offering Kyrie 3 years, $135 million to come back. It looks like he will. And I'm also going to see if I can get Gershon Yabusele from the Philadelphia 76ers to be a solid power forward rotational guy, and we get him. Also, can I sign Ty Jerome to a 2-year deal? Unfortunately. Oh, no. Yeah, I can. Let's go. He's going to be a depth point guard spot. So looking at this team right now, it's going to look a little bit different because of that PJ Washington trade. Daniel Gafford we're going to see what the extension looks like. If it's like 14, 15, 16 million dollars, I'm going to bring him back on that. But if it's like 20 plus, we're probably going to trade him this season. And we do need to release 2 players before the season starts. So we could make a trade, but I think Jazzy Gorman, I am going to release. And let's see, is there going to be somebody else? Dwight Powell, Maxi Kleber in the last years of their deal. You know what? I mean, we could use that $11 million at one point. We could use that $4 million. I don't want to release Jalen Wilson. Like, I'm looking at Ty Jerome because I don't know if he's going to crack the rotation, but I signed him to a 2-year deal. I hate it. I'm going to do it because he's been here for a while, but it's going to be Dwight Powell. All right, so it's going to be Luka, Kyrie, Clay, and Lively like it was last year. It's just Bobby Portis is replacing PJ Washington. We're going to have Daniel Gafford, Najee Marshall, Jaden Hardy, DFS, and Gershon Yabusele off the bench. So no minutes to Jaren Stevenson or Con Knipple. Those could come over the course of the year. Same with Jalen Wilson and Ty Jerome. Balance, we are going to be 4 stars under Jason Kidd. Started the season on the road against the OKC Thunder, and we ended up losing by 13. All right, so I don't know if there's going to be a finals hangover to this team. We'll see if the Bobby Portis trade was a bad idea because PJ Washington is definitely a better defensive player. So we'll keep an eye on that dynamic throughout the course of this season. All right, so we're here at the trade deadline, and we are 31 games above 500. So we are doing just fine. No finals hangover for us. We have an 18.9 point differential to start off the year. I'm sure because of one man, Luka Doncic. Obviously, this is a good team around him. Like Klay Thompson, he's not maybe as dynamic as a scorer as he's been in the past, but he's still knocking down 41% of his threes. Kyrie Irving has been worth $35 million at age 33. How about a Jaden Hardy breakout year as well? He could honestly be in some most improved conversations. And Luka may go back-to-back with MVP awards this season. Now, I do want to see one thing. I want to see Daniel Gafford's demand. Oh, that's not bad whatsoever. All right, I'm going to ink up Daniel Gafford, 4-year deal. $13 million. It's going to go up a little bit over time. So we're going to give him that. Like, is Daniel Gafford at $13 million way more valuable than Derek Lively's going to want probably $31 million? Why is he refusing to resign? I don't know if that's going to be something we're going to have to figure out in the offseason. Let's bring DFS back on a minimum. Same with Maxi Kleber as well. But yeah, all right, maybe we're going to get to a point where Derek Lively doesn't want to be here if Daniel Gafford's going to eat into his minutes. But Gafford's going to give me starting center play for like $15 million a year. I'd rather pay probably Gafford $15 million than Lively $30 million. And Luka Doncic wins MVP this season. Nolan Traore wins Rookie of the Year. Amen Thompson, 6th Man of the Year. Deep Boy goes to Wemby. Most Improved, Shaedon Sharpe, and Giannis Clutch Player of the Year. But hey, Jason Kidd does take home Coach of the Year as well. Luka is on All NBA first team. All NBA second team, you have Halliburton, Maxey, Edwards, Trey, and Paolo Banchero. Here is All NBA third team. So Luka, once again, man, what a year he's having. Or I should say, just like what a video so far. He's already got 2 MVPs, and he could just keep winning them at this point. And we are the 1 seed this year. Last year we were the 2 seed. We had a 17.5 point differential. Oh my God. Okay. This team is on fire right now. Najee Marshall has been pretty good for us. Jaden Hardy, though, I think is going to eat into his minutes a little bit for the playoffs. So Gershon wasn't like horrendous. He wasn't great. I think we're going to go like to 8 minutes to Finney Smith. We're going to go 15 to Marshall. Let's do 24 to Jaden Hardy as well. And then, yeah, we're going to go like 38 to Luka, 38 to Kyrie. Let's do 33 to Clay. And then we'll do 34 to Lively to see what he can do in this, I guess, larger role for the playoffs. We're taking on the Sacramento Kings in round number 1. We do win game 1, 99-95. Luka Doncic with a 25-point triple-double to start things off. How many triple-doubles is he going to get in these playoffs? Game number 2. 32, 7, and 12. We're just on triple-double watch with him. Game number 3, there's a triple-double, so he's gotten 2 so far. And then game number 4, he ends up averaging or scoring 39, 9, and 7. He's unreal. You can actually see, yeah, how many triple doubles he had in the playoffs, at least currently. So he had 37 in the regular season. And we're taking on Denver once again in round number 2. We did beat them in round number 2 last year. They've added Grant Williams to their team. Oh, they made a trade for Kobe Buffkin. That's interesting. I feel like we should be able to beat them, and we sweep them. We are 8-0 to start things off. Wow. I didn't expect the domination from this team to start off this video, but here we are. Kyrie Irving was phenomenal in round number 2, and Luka picked up just one more triple-double in that series. Not like Luka. So, taking on Minnesota, they've been probably the better regular season team along with us so far here. They picked up Peyton Pritchard along the way. Let's see who's going to advance to the finals, and we go 12-1 throughout the Western Conference. Luka and Halliburton are your conference finals MVPs. Luka averaged 29, 10, and 10 in those 5 games in the conference finals. Can I see how many triple doubles he has in the playoffs? So he didn't pick up one actually in that series, but he averaged a triple double, which is funny. So we're taking on the Pacers here in the NBA Finals. They're starting Keon Ellis at the 2. All right, I don't know if they're actually starting Wiseman over Miles Turner. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. But game 1 goes to Dallas. We win 107-96. Luka already has a triple double. Game number 2, we do lose. We lose 119-95. Okay. Game number 3, we do win. And I guess this is also the 3rd straight finals appearance for the Mavericks when you include what happened in the 2024 season when they lost to Boston. We end up winning again. Luka with 29, 17, and 8. And are we going to win in 5? We just went 16-2 in these playoffs. Luka once again completed the trifecta to start things off. And vibes are definitely high here in Dallas. My goal was 5 rings in this video. We're already 40% of the way there. So I believe we will have at least one first-round pick in this draft. It's going to be that swap worst that we got from the Bucks last year, as the Bulls, who were in the conference finals last year, get the number 1 overall pick this year. We do own our pick at 30, actually, which is nice because I think it was a swap with the Thunder, and we finished better than them. And then we're also going to get the 20th pick. So I basically traded PJ Washington and Quentin Grimes for Bobby Portis and the 20th overall pick in this year's draft. I'll take that. So Klay Thompson's 36. It's the last year of his deal. Now he's got 6 rings in his career, which is kind of crazy. Bobby Portis, we could think about moving as well. He's on the last year of his deal. I don't think it would cost us too much to bring him back. I'm sure he's happy that he just got a ring as well, the 2nd of his career. Let's see who gets Cam Boozer and Debanza. Cam Boozer is going to Chicago. AJ Debanza with, wow, Wemby in San Antonio. Thunder get Peterson at 4 and Caleb Wilson at 5 as the Celtics took a cuff at 3. At pick 20, I'm going to take Derek Queen out of Maryland. He played at Montverde Academy with Liam McNeely and Cooper Flagg. And if we do trade Derek Lively this offseason, he's going to be back up to Gafford next year. And I'm going to take Elson Harrington with our pick at number 30. I think it said he's out of Harvard. So we are going to sign both these guys right now. Team player options. Yeah, we're going to pick it up on Stevenson. Derek Lively, who's already unhappy. He's in the last year of this rookie contract. If we were going to trade him, it's going to be right now. Something I didn't expect to do, but I want to be ahead of the curve. We're going to give Jalen Wilson the qualifying offer. And obviously we can match any deal when Lively is a free agent because he will be restricted. But once again, $30 million for Lively. It's a lot of money. So I think we're going to hold off to trading him now, but it could be more like a sign and trade next offseason. And I also have a little bit of a mid-level exception, so if I could sign Bruce Brown on that, I will definitely take that. There we go. Also going to bring in some shooters as well, in Sam Morril and Sam Hauser, the Sams. As J-Dub leaves the Thunder to go to Portland. Okay, and also De'Aaron Fox is yet to be unsigned. I don't know if he's going back to the Kings or not. And it looks like he could be leaving teams, same with Triple J, as we are going to get Jalen Wilson back on the qualifying offer. I don't know why Luke is regressing, but he does a little bit. Kyrie's progressing at age 34. Jaden Hardy is up to an 81. He looks like he's on a steal of a contract. It's the last year of this 3-year extension, I believe. No, team option of 6.4 next year, which is such a steal for us. All right, we actually have to release 5 players before the season starts. So I guess these are like non-roster invites. I'm sorry, Maxi Kleba. You're going to be gone. Wow, Clay's regressed down to a 76 overall. That's kind of crazy. I think Ty Jerome is probably going to be gone, which is kind of an unfortunate. Gershon, I mean, $5 million could be a good trade piece. I got to release 2 more guys. I think it's going to be the shooters that we signed in Hauser and Morril. I actually have to release 1 more guy. Do I want to release somebody here? Do I want to release DFS? Not really, but I may have to, unfortunately, because Gershon has a little bit more money he's being made, so therefore I could trade him. Sorry, DFS. All right, so we're going to have a deeper rotation this year, still with Luka and Kyrie getting 37 minutes apiece, but Najee Marshall is going to start at the 3. Bobby Portis at the 4, Lively at the 5. Klay Thompson is regressing. This could be his farewell tour at the end of the year. So the bench is Hardy as the 6th man, Gafford, Thompson, Knipple, and then Jalen Wilson and Jaren Stevenson all getting minutes. We're 4-star balanced under Jason Kidd. I'm fine with not being the greatest regular season team because we're trying to three-peat and go to our 4th straight finals. We start the year on the road against Minnesota, a good team. We ended up losing. Jaden Hardy was our leading scorer. Luka looks like was in foul trouble in that game, but then we bounced back with a nice win against Cooper Flagg, Zion Williamson, and Brandon Ingram over in New Orleans. All right, so we are at the trade deadline here. Once again, we are one of the best teams in the NBA. We have a 13.3 point differential. You know what? Like, it's been somewhat challenging dominating 2K25 rebuild for me. This has been fairly easy, which is kind of nice. I don't think I've made too many big moves. Obviously, like, I've kind of overhauled the bench a tad bit. And we're trying to figure out the next path of this team in the post like Clay era. We're going to soon be in the post Kyrie era. But this team offensively has been really good so far this season. The big question, though, Derek Lively, who's been really good for us, he's going to want like $30 million. I mean, I think at this point, we're trying to three-peat. I don't know if it's worth trading him right now. I don't know how much the value is going to go down if it's a sign and trade, but I think we're going to see what team gives him a max in free agency. I'm going to match it, and then I'm going to have to figure out, do I want to trade him to that team, get something at least in return, or just pay him that salary. We're also going to ink up Bobby Portis on a 2-year extension worth a little bit over $26 million. And then we're going to re-sign Najee Marshall to a 1-year, $3 million deal as well. I mean, if Clay wants to come back, he can on the minimum, but I expected him to retire at the end of the year. This year, he is shooting 40% from 3, but obviously in a diminished role. He's 36 years old. All right, we're going to try to find some value here. Tristan Da Silva has rarely played for the Orlando Magic, so this could be like a little bit of a Jalen Hood-Schifino situation with them. We're getting Cliff Garnett as well, who was just a recent 57th overall pick. I'm giving them Gershon and Jalen Wilson. We're going to find a new home for Tristan Da Silva here in Orlando. So I think for the rest of the year, he's going to get a decent sample size. We're going to see him about 13 minutes a night. I am going to remove Jaron Stevenson from the rotation. Conkinable has looked fine in basically his first season. Like, this is technically his rookie year. And Wemby breaks Luka Doncic's chance at winning 3 straight MVPs. He gets it here in year number 4. Cameron Boozer is your rookie of the year. Josh Giddey is your 6th man of the year. Wemby also wins Depoy this year. What a year for him. Luka's still a top 5 player in the league. He is on all NBA first team. Here is all NBA second team with Ja and a couple Thunder. Cooper Flag making it as well, an all-NBA third team. I was thinking that maybe we'd see like a big J-Dub season. I think that he left Portland. I could be wrong, but yeah, he is on Portland. He averaged 15.5 points. Maybe it's something to do with his shot tendency, most likely. We ended up as the 2 seed this year, like we were in year number 1, as the Spurs are the 1 seed. They went 65-17. Such a good young team, man. AJ Debanta will be starting eventually. So I wonder if, like, I don't know, Keldon Johnson hasn't been good. Like, do we try to get in the Devin Vassell sweepstakes? I don't know. He's probably still worth a ton to them. But we're looking for some wings to figure out who's going to be like the next Klay Thompson for this team. I don't think it's going to be Najee Marshall long term. But yeah, we definitely have like the best center rotation in the league with Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, who did have like a very good year. Jaden Ivey was great for us. Luka doing Luka things, and he's going to turn it up a notch in the playoffs. Speaking of the playoffs, I don't think Tristan Da Silva is going to crack the playoff rotation. I think for these guys being kind of similar, Knipple's going to get like 10 minutes, probably go like 13 to Clay. I think like 26 to Jaden Hardy. He's going to play a ton. Let's go 40 to Luka, 40 to Kyrie, probably go 30 to Bobby Portis, 35 to Derek Lively, 24 to Gafford. I mean, they're going to eat into each other's minutes, but some of them can play the power forward spot. Taking on the Nuggets, who we are 2-0 against in the playoffs in round number 2. This time we are meeting in round number 1, and we sweep them. Wow, Luka has owned Jokic in the playoffs so far. Jaden Hardy has been phenomenal for us this season. Those were the season stats, though. In round number 1, Kyrie was like our top scorer. Hardy was still really good. Taking on Minnesota, who beat us on opening night. They have a good team. I think this is a little bit of a not downfall for us, but we look a little bit more vulnerable. Shout out to Derek Lively, 14-15 against Gobert in game 1, and we beat them in 5, and we are just 1 8 seed away from advancing to our 4th straight NBA Finals. Lively was great against Minnesota. Taking on New Orleans. This team should be, I think, better than an 8 seed. They are really good. Former Maverick Tim Hardaway Jr. on this team. But they got Andrew Nemhard. They got Vooch to space out that 5 spot. They got Cooper Flag. Yeah, like maybe we try to get in the Herb Jones sweepstakes or the Brandon Ingram sweepstakes in the offseason. Something we could look at. Game number 1, though, we do end up winning. We go up 2-0. We go up 3-0. And we just swept them. We are 12-1 in the playoffs right now. And we're taking on either Brooklyn or Detroit. And it's going to be Brooklyn in the NBA Finals. Nolan Traore has taken them to the finals. Oh my God, they got Mikal Bridges back. No way. No freaking way. And they have Jalen Duren on this team as well. Can I see what that trade looked like? Or was that last offseason? That is hilarious that the Knicks gave up 5 first-round picks. I doubt they got that many back. So Kyrie against his former team, it's going to be a good one. Game number 1 goes to the Dallas Mavericks, 127-95. Game number 2 goes to the Dallas Mavericks, 118-106. Game number 3, Dallas Mavericks, look at that, 127-119, 29-10, and 18 for Luka Doncic. Are we going to win 3 straight in a gentleman's sweep? Oh my God. Oh my God. How? This 2K sim is crazy. We dominate the first 3 rounds. We dominate the first 3 games of the final round, and they just somehow win 3 in a row. If we blow a 3-0 lead, that is crazy, and they could be the team that ends the Mavericks dynasty, honestly. Oh my God, we're down by 9. Oh my God, we're down by 6. Down by 6. Holy crap. We are down by 2 with 2.5 to go. All right, here we go. Down by 2. Oh, man, I am nervous. Nolan Traore is guarding Luka Doncic. This should be the matchup we go at. Luka right to the rim, and he's going to get to the line with ease. Colin Murray-Boyles picks up the foul. I mean, this is a good Nets team on paper. But the fact that we were up 3-0, so basically, in the playoffs, we were 15-1, and, like, we were so good, and then somehow we just lose 3 in a row? I don't get that. And we were losing here on our home floor. I mean, they could beat us for sure. Kyrie's guarding Cam Thomas. This is a very interesting matchup. All right, Lively, where's my help defense? There it is. Those are the plays he makes, man. Luka in transition. Can he get around Nolan Traore inside? He's going to finish that with the right hand. We're up by 2. Luka's got 34. Yeah, Derek Lively, I want you to play some drop coverage. Like, Nick Claxton ain't shooting the ball, so when he goes out onto the perimeter, you are going to be our rim protector. Najee Marshall guarding Mikal Bridges. Nolan Traore off the screen. Gets a good look. No good. Not the most consistent three-point shooter, at least not yet. Kyrie guarded by Mikal Bridges. Let's see if he can cook. Kyrie with the step back 3. Bang! Kyrie Irving. We know he hits big shots in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. He hits one there in front of Mikal Bridges. Nolan Traore driving again. Derek Lively, you got to get over quicker. Like, Nick Claxton is not taking a three-point shot whatsoever over there. Luka from the logo. Luka, what am I doing? All right, Bobby Portis trying to guard Colin Murray-Boyles. He's not much of a threat with his jumper, so he was just going to score inside. Okay, Bobby Portis is just not a good defender whatsoever. All right, let's cook with Kyrie. Kyrie, turn it up a level. Is he going to finish that inside? Yes, he does. He's got 25. Oh, no, they run a great play for Cam Thomas. He gets a good look, but he misses it. Oh my God. Cam Thomas got a great look. Kyrie Irving is wide open. He gets Colin Murray-Boyles in the air, and he gets fouled by Mikal Bridges. Wow. I can't believe Cam Thomas missed that shot. Cam Thomas, he finds Traore for 3. He gets another crack at it, and he was open, man. He knocks out a huge 3. I don't think they're going to foul, but I wouldn't. Okay, so they're not going to foul. I mean, they get a stop right here. They can go for the tie, or they can send this to overtime. Let's get a Derek Lively screen. Luka, I need you to put this over. Luka with the dagger. Luka with the dagger. We go up by 4. And I think that could be it. Cam Thomas gets a good look. Oh, he decides not to take it. He kicks it out to Colin Murray-Boyles for 3. Yeah, he was never going to hit that. They're going to foul. And we're going to go and three-peat here in 2025, 6, and 7. And Finals MVP is going to be Luka Doncic once again. So yeah, we won in 7 here. Let's see who retires this year. Harden, Butler, Beal, Tristan Thompson, not Klay Thompson. No Mavericks. Okay. There could have been a couple of Mavericks that could have ended up retiring. James Harden is heading to the Hall of Fame. And obviously at 1.2, we're going to add some expansion teams. Maybe next year we'll add them. Maybe I'll add just 4 at once. Why not? Just really crowd this league up. So we're not going to have any lottery picks. Obviously the Thunder, who are obviously very good, they end up getting the 2nd overall pick via the Clippers. The Jazz are picking at 4 from the Russell Westbrook trade, and at number 5, the Hornets own our pick at 30 from the PJ Washington trade, so we don't own a first rounder in this year's draft. So the Charlotte Hornets with the number 1 overall pick take Tyrone Stokes out of Duke. Thunder at 2 get Brandon McCoy out of Rutgers. 3, the Nets, are they trading the pick? So they were just in the finals and they had a top 3 pick. Costanza. Hugo goes to the Jazz. Same with Sadiq White. Like I said, though, we didn't own any first rounders here. We're going to pick up the team option on Hardy, Knipple, and not Cliff Garrett, who we got in that Tristan Da Silva trade. There are some notable free agents for sure here. Like Giannis is a free agent. I think Jokic is a free agent as well. I mean, it'd be sick to pair up those guys, but that means Kyrie Irving would have to be on this team, which I could have maybe strategically gave Kyrie 2 years instead of 3, because then I could have had 45 million off the books. And then we could have gone after one of those guys, but we didn't play our cards that well. So we have a mid-level exception, and I wanted to get Dante DiVincenzo a couple years ago, so we could get him. I also wouldn't mind Josh Hart, who could just be a winning player for us. He could be our small forward. We could get Dylan Brooks to be the small forward as well. I'm going to see if I can get Josh Hart to Dallas. We're going to give him a 3-year deal. I would like to attach a team option on that last year because he could age poorly. We'll see. So we get Josh Hart. We're not renouncing the rights on Jaren Stevenson. We'll keep an eye on Derek Lively. Like, does he get a max deal at all? I don't know if he does. Yeah, nobody's really giving him like a major contract. I don't think he comes back on the qualifying offer. So I'm going to give Derek Lively a 2-year deal, worth $50 million. I think that's going to be the best he gets. Maybe he didn't play his market too well. So we could still look to move him if we wanted to. Maybe it doesn't work out. Jared Stevenson comes back on the qualifying offer. As Kyrie Irving regresses a little bit, but he's still been incredible for a 35-year-old. So this is going to be the team. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Josh Hart, Bobby Portis, Derek Lively. We're not asking Josh Hart to play 40 minutes a night like he does in New York. We're just going to go with a 4-man bench. Lively, Hardy, Hardy, Gafford, Knipple, and Tristan Da Silva. Plenty of guys that could get some runtime. Klay Thompson is here to hopefully get another ring, as he now has 7 in his career, but he's not going to play for us. 4.5 star balance. We could definitely be a team that makes a move at the trade deadline. We'll see going on. We start off the year on the road against Memphis, and we just blew them out by 40. All right, so we're here at the trade deadline, still riding by Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving on this team. Jaden Hardy has been great for us, as we want to get an extension done with him. Derek Lively's been very good as well. He's averaging 15 and 8 for us. Knipple is becoming an elite 3-point shooter. He just may replace Josh Hart and be like that Klay Thompson role for us for the next like 5 to 10 years. Gafford's still been great off the bench. Josh Hart, not been as good, unfortunately, given that I chose my mid-level exception to go to him. Tristan Da Silva, he's looking like a bust in this league, unfortunately. Like, I'm giving him a decent amount of playing time. He's just not capitalizing on it. And we are going to re-sign Jaden Hardy on a 4-year extension, which is going to be a decent amount of money for him going forward. 5 years, $80 million left on his contract. Luka, we want to get an extension done with him, so let's give him about $200 million over the next 4 seasons after this year. And we're going to give 2 more years to Kyrie Irving, man. I mean, he's been incredible for us, so there's no point in letting him walk now. Like, he's 35 years old. He's still really good. And I think with Tristan Da Silva being kind of unfortunate, I think I'm going to remove him from the rotation. I don't know why. Yeah, I guess Najee Marshall is going to get back in there 10 minutes a night. And then we're going to give 5 to either Derek Queen. Maybe we get Elston Harrington some runtime as well to see what he could be for us. And I think go 3 less to Josh Hart. And 3 more to Knipple. I believe Tristan Da Silva will not be a free agent at the end. Actually, no, I think he is. And I know if I move him to small forward, he probably goes up. It's fine. I don't know if I'll even give him the qualifying offer. We're going to see how far this team can go in year number 4. Though Luka Doncic, after not winning MVP last year, gets it back this year. Tyron Stokes is your rookie of the year. Darren Peterson, 6th man of the year. There's Wemby winning Depoy. A cuff most improved. Clutch player of the year is Cameron Boozer. And coach of the year is Greg Popovich. Shout out to him getting it this late in his career. Luka obviously is going to be on all NBA first team. It's unfortunate we never got like a Derek Lively to make a all defensive team yet, but we finished as the 2 seed, 2 games behind the Spurs, who were just incredible with Dibanza and Wemby going forward. But we did have a better point differential and the best in the NBA. And here were the stats throughout the year, with Luka Doncic averaging 25, 9, and 11. 23 and 5 for Kyrie Irving. There's Jaden Hardy, who was great. Same with Derek Lively. Knipple is turning into a great shooter. I think he's going to be in line to be my starting small forward next year. And to be honest with you, I know Josh Hart was a little bit better in the second half. I think I'm going to start Knipple for the playoffs. So we're going to go to a 9-man rotation. Elston Harrington, I mean, he was fine in his minutes. We're going to go 8 to Najee Marshall. Let's go 20 to Gafford. We're going to go 22 to Josh Hart is fine. 24 to Hardy. I'm going to go 27 to Knipple. I'm going to go 35 to Lively. I'm going to go 40 to Luka, 39 to Kyrie. Relying on these guys once again, but they've showed they're not slowing down whatsoever. We're going up against a good Suns team that has added Tower Hero from Bradley Beal. They have Tari Eason now. And can we beat them in round number 1? We sweep them. We've been just like dominant in this video, in this rebuild so far. Luka once again with a 28-point triple-double. I don't normally see the Mavericks be this dominant. Like, I see Luka be very good, but 8-0 again in year number 4, it's kind of unreal how good this team has been so far. Why we just owned Sabonis in round number 2. But we're taking on the Spurs. Now, this is a very good team. This is definitely a team that could beat us here. 2 Southwest Division teams going at it. We do win game 1 by 19. Jaden Hardy dropped 26 when Luka shot 4 of 13. Game number 2 goes to Dallas. Oh my God, man. This is insane. We just swept the Western Conference. Oh my God. And we're taking on Chicago. Like, this is a team we could sweep in the NBA Finals and go 16-0. Oh my God. All right. So they pushed us to 6. We ended up sweeping the West, going 16-2 in the playoffs. Luka once again Finals MVP. Did we just 4-peat? We just 4-peated to start things off. My goal was to get 5 rings. We're already 80% there. Loaded Hall of Fame class between KD, Curry, Kawhi, and Paul George. As I forgot to add some expansion teams, so they'll be coming into the league next year. So let's see here for the 2028, I believe, draft lottery. The Nets, wow, the Knicks get the number 1 pick. This actually may be 2029, as we are going to own our first rounder at number 30. Excuse me, 2028 draft. I think they may have a swap with the Knicks, the Nets, because I know they own like 5, 7, 9, and 2031. But they do own a swap in there in 28. So the number 1 overall pick was Reggie Williamson, a point guard going to the Nets. So they could be very good going forward if he turns into like a stud. We got Dana Paul here at 30 from Baylor. He's a wing, 23 years old. I don't think has super high upside. These guys I am excited about going forward though. Harrington, Queen, and Knipple. I think they're all going to find playing time next year. Stevenson can get the qualifying offer. I'll offer it to De Silva. As Clay is, like, he doesn't want to retire. I mean, he can keep getting, he can get rings on the bench for us. I'll bring back Najee Marshall as well. I'm also going to try to sign Vince Williams to a one-year deal to replace Bruce Brown, but he goes to Minnesota. And we're going to bring back Bruce Brown as a vibes guy to come off the bench. And we get Jaren Stevenson and De Silva back on the QOs. Kyrie starts to regress a little bit. He is going to be 37 years old this season. And we do have to release somebody before the season starts. And I think, oh man, it probably should be Clay, but it's not going to be him. I like Bruce Brown as the vibes guy, but it may actually be him, sadly. And that is going to be the case. All right, so this is going to be the rotation this year. It's going to be Luka, Kyrie, Knipple, Bobby Portis, Derek Lively, with Jaden Hardy, Daniel Gafford, Josh Hart, Harrington, and Derek Queen all coming off the bench. System proficiency is going to be 4.5-star balanced under Jason Kidd. Let's see if we could win a 5th straight title. All right, we are here through the first 35 games this season. We are 25-10 so far. We are currently the 3 seed in the Western Conference. It's looking like the Spurs and the Thunder could end up being better than us throughout the regular season. Obviously, we have dominated this video, just this rebuild so far. We are seeing maybe a little bit of Kyrie regression, 36 years old. Hopefully, if he's going to perform like this, he retires at the end of the year, because $35 million for that next year, more than that actually, $47 million, $46 million, might be a lot. Knipple, we have developed into this really good three-point shooter for us. Derek Lively's been good. He's a free agent once again at the end of the year. Jaden Hardy has been great for us. Daniel Gafford does have 2 years left on his deal, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this team right now. We're looking at the contract. Yeah, why Kyrie wants to resign, that is kind of crazy. Daniel Gafford would resign. A little nervous on the whole Derek Lively situation. I am. Bobby Portis would resign for about $9 million. He's been fine. But even with a down year, somewhat, Luka still wins MVP at the age of 30. So at the age of 30, he's got 4 MVPs right now. Rookie of the year goes to Dylan Mingo of the Chicago Bulls. You got Robert Dillingham on the Suns winning 6th Man of the Year. He's been on the Kings and obviously the Timberwolves so far. Jason Kidd took home Coach of the Year. Luka's on all NBA first team. I think we're trying to figure out that number 2 next to Luka going forward, as we are the 2 seed in the Western Conference. We are going up against the Golden State Warriors in round number 1. We ended up winning 61 games with the 2nd best point differential in the West. Golden State's got Jasper Johnson, Tyler Hero, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Mark Williams. They got Keegan Murray, Garrett Trent Jr., Malik Monk. They got a good team. 23-10 for Luka, 16 for Kyrie, 15 for Hardy. Yeah, this is a good team still that I think we can make a run in the playoffs. I'm just trying to figure out, yeah, who's going to be in the rotation. Maybe no Derek Queen for the playoffs, as Harrington was pretty good for us this year. I think I'm just going to go more minutes to Knipple. So we're taking on the Warriors here in round number 1. We've been kind of dominating every round 1 so far, and we do that. So I will say this is the first time I'm a little nervous for a playoff series, because the Spurs had a better point differential than us. And I don't know. I just don't have as much confidence as I had in the past. They have AJ DePanta and Wemby. We win game 1. We win game 2. Oh my God, man, this is unreal. And we end up gentlemen sweeping them. This is insane how much 2K is enjoying this Luka Doncic career arc, I guess. We're taking on the Thunder in round number 3. They were the 1 seed. They've an unreal team. I feel like it's better than ours on paper. But are we going to just advance to the finals once again? Oh my God, they go up 2-0 and then we win 4 straight. Luka Doncic is 2/3 of the way from the trifecta once again. We're going up against the 1-seeded Orlando Magic. Oh, God. I mean, I think we're going to win, but you never know. We do win game 1. We win game 2. This is insane. I think I caught like the best algorithm possible for this rebuild, as Luka gets another finals MVP. Yeah, we just won 5 straight to start off this video. That was my goal for the 20 years, and I accomplished it in the first 5. There goes Klay Thompson. He does retire. Was kind of hoping that Kyrie was going to retire. He decided not to. I'm also an idiot, and I forgot to add expansion teams again. I promise it's going to happen the next year, because it's a different date for me now between season 4 to season 5. We don't have any lottery picks, I think. Do we own our first round pick? We do not. The Nets have it at 30. And we didn't have a second round pick either. The number 1 pick was Albert Galloway to the LA Lakers. A Bass goes number 2 to the Toronto Raptors. Harrington and Queen are going to come back. Josh Hart for $13 million. I think I'm going to let him walk into free agency. Şengün and Tatum are going to be free agents, making a ton of money. Tristan De Silva, I don't think I'm going to give the qualifying offer to. Jaren Stevenson, why not at $4 million? And Knipple, we are going to try to get an extension done with, because he is turning into the eventual Klay Thompson for this team. So you can see we have a ton of free agents right now. I will not be giving Knipple $46 million. That is too much for the vibes. We are going to be bringing back Najee Marshall. Tristan De Silva, I mean, he may get a deal out there from a different team. I don't think I'm giving him $15 million. I don't know who gave him that offer. So Bobby Portis, $13 million. I think I'll give him a 1-year deal worth about $10 million to come back. It may be kind of expensive, and at one point we're going to have to trade him, but I am going to offer Derek Lively a nice contract extension. It's going to be 5 years, $150 million. I may look to move Daniel Gafford after he signs it, and then we are going to make Derek Queen the backup center because Gafford is a free agent next year. And we are going to make this trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're basically just getting an unprotected first-round pick for Daniel Gafford. He gave us a lot of good years here, 5 good years in Dallas. I'm just not going to be able to afford him next year. Jonah Jafino is really just to make the money work. We have to throw a second in here. He's not really going to play for us going forward. And here on the last day of free agency, I'm going to try to like front load a contract with Conkinable because I feel like that's just too much for him. So if we gave him this over 5 years, I mean, I think he's going to be really good. 5 years, 130. That's a lot of money. Jaren Stevenson accepts the qualifying offer. Kyrie's down to an 88. This could be the last year of his career, as Conkinable could maybe replace him after this season. All right, so this is going to be the rotation. It's going to look a little bit different. Luka, Kyrie, Conkinable, Bobby Portis still giving us strong minutes, man. I did not expect 5 years of Bobby here. As I was starting power forward, we're going to have Lively, and then we have Hardy, Harrington, Queen, Dana Paul, and Jaren Stevenson off the bench. I'm a little scared about this team's future, not going to lie, but hey, we're continuing to win titles. I've already won 5 of them, and now let's add some expansion teams, something I just didn't do last year, which I apologize for. I want to shout out to the creators this year. I think they did a great job on the 2K share with some of these teams. Like, there are elite designs, so we're going to add a team to Alaska, and we're going to add a team to Mexico City, the Mexico City Flight, and the Anchorage Blizzard. Pretty cool. And we started off the year with a win by 15. Actually, Kyrie Irving was our leading scorer. So I also wanted to just go over some of the team contracts going forward. Like, I'm thinking maybe after the 2032 season is when I have to like blow this team up. And if I let Luka walk in free agency for nothing, I think that'd be equivalent, but I would like to trade Luka. So who knows when that's going to happen? We'll see. He is 30 years old, still in his prime. We have plenty of years left for this rebuild to still tear it all down, which was a challenge I had to do. As I said in the start of this video, like, we're gonna have a lot of money off the books. We are, but unfortunately, like, the Kindle contract hits, the Lively contract hits, the Hardy extension hits, so I don't, like, we're gonna have $24 million, but we gotta like find like 7 roster spots. And Cameron Boozer wins MVP for the Chicago Bulls. We'll see if they give him a rookie max extension. Reggie Williamson, maybe the younger brother of Zion or the son at this point, wins Rookie of the Year. Dylan Mingo is your 6th Man of the Year. He was the Rookie of the Year last season. And Mike Brown of the Sacramento Kings is your Coach of the Year. Luka is still on All-NBA First Team. Cooper Flagg on All-NBA First Team with the Pelicans as well. Here's All-NBA Second Team, All-NBA Third Team. A lot of Western Conference players on the first 2 teams, 4 to 5 on the first team, and then 4 to 5 on the second team. Eastern Conference had 4 to 5 though on the third team. I don't think we've gotten any Mavericks on the defensive teams throughout this video, and we finished the year as a 3 seed. Kyrie Irving was open to like an extension worth $35 million. I decided to not do that. I don't think he's the player he used to be. He's 38 years old. I think we're going to try to save that money for free agency. Conkinable was great. Bobby Portis, not as much. Like, this team is going to look, I think, noticeably different next year for sure. Elton Harrington, really good. And I'm sure he's going to want like $40 million a year, which I'm not going to pay him. And Jaren Stevenson was much better than Dana Paul. So he's going to play for us in the playoffs for sure. I think we're going to go like 35 to Lively. We're going to go like 38 to Luka and 36 to Conkinable. We're really going to have to rely on that 3. We're taking on Isaiah Harwell, Dylan Harper, and Bagley Naz Reid. A good Timberwolves team, but not a great one. I don't know if they'll beat us, and they do. Okay, so this is where I think we hit our ceiling as a team. I still want to give this core mostly another go, and I've never seen, like, we've watched Luka average like 35-point triple-doubles. We've seen him put up 50-point triple-doubles with 20 assists multiple times. Look at how Minnesota defended him. He's 31 years old. That is a little alarming. Do I trade Luka now? Oh, man, because I'd get a haul. But if I'm going to trade away my top 5 players, that means I got to move on from Luka. I got to let go of Kyrie, so let him walk. I got to trade Conkinable. I got to trade Derek Lively, and I'd have to let Elston Harrington walk or do a sign and trade, which means we could build it around Jaden Hardy. We could build around Derek Queen. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So I think this is really just a test go at that like stipulation where I got to blow up the team. So you can let me know in the comments, should I change it where it's got to be only players above like 23 years old? I can keep the young guys. Let me know what you think is best. So if we take a look here, like I could do that as the Bulls end up winning the first title of this video, not named the Dallas Mavericks. Like if we had to trade our top 5 guys above 20, I don't know, like, do we let this team ride out with Knipple and Lively and Harrington? And I would have to move on from Luka, Kyrie, Bobby Portis, but I don't think we really lose too much because we still are a relative young team right now. So I got to figure out, do I want to move Luka as Bobby Portis does retire this offseason? Kyrie doesn't retire. So, man, thinking about trading Luka is kind of crazy because we just won 5 straight titles. And then do I just trade away like a potential top 5 player of all time? So I think this is going to be pretty easy. We're going to move the Anchorage Blizzard to the northwest. I think We're going to keep the Jazz in the Northwest, and then we're going to move the Thunder to the Southwest. Let's do that. And then in the East, Mexico City in the Atlantic. I don't really agree with that. I think we'll throw them in the Southeast, and Memphis is going to go over to the Southeast as well. I mean, I feel like Mexico City should probably be in the Southwest, though. But then who do I bring to the East? Do I bring the Thunder to the East? I'll bring the Pelicans to the East. Yeah, so the Pelicans and the Grizzlies are going to be in the Southeast. And we're going to move Mexico City to the Southwest. Actually, I lied. I don't know why Miami's over there. So we're going to keep New Orleans in the Southwest. We're just moving Memphis to the East. So yeah, we're going to have Mexico City in the Southwest, Anchorage in the Northwest, Thunder go to the Southwest, and then Memphis is going to the Southeast. So draft lottery time. We do own our first round pick. It's going to be at pick 29. Anchorage are picking at 5, Blizzard at 6. So I assume, or excuse me, I think Mexico City was at 5. Therefore, I think they're reversed basically to start off the expansion draft. I got to resign. Whoa. Jason Kidd's going to say no? Are you... Oh my God. Jason Kidd says no. Well, I got to figure out where he's going. And I think I'm going to get Darko Rajakovic to be the next head coach. Okay. Jason Kidd actually goes back to the Brooklyn Nets. All right. A team he has coached for in the past. And let's protect my players now. So I got to let somebody walk. It's an easy decision. It's going to be Dana Paul. We'll see if he even gets drafted because Brandon Miller was unkept. Rob Dillingham was unkept. Tyler Hero, Jarvis Walker. Some of these teams are going to be really good out of the gate. And I don't know. Did Dana Paul get drafted? I don't think so. So we were one of the teams that were able to keep, I guess, our player, unless I completely missed them, which, you know what, I'll take. The number 1 overall pick was Jamal Brand, a 6'11 power forward out of Pittsburgh. He looks really good. And Frank Gibson, we took with the 29th pick, a 6'7 wing. I think we just needed more wings off the bench. Dana Paul, we are going to pick up that team option on. Paolo's a free agent. Trae Young, Amen Thompson. It would be nice to go after some of those guys. So I'm going to offer Elson Harrington and Derek Queen the qualifying offers. I mean, Kyrie Irving, $46 million. Do I offer him a 1-year deal? I just may not get a better option. So I think we offer Kyrie a 1-year deal. I'm hoping we get Harrington and Queen back on the qualifying offers. Najee Marshall, obviously for the vibes, we want to bring him back. I mean, Jalen Hood-Schifino, I don't think I'm going to bring back. Jaron Stevenson, I'm going to bring back as well. And yeah, we're going to sign Kyrie, Marshall, Stevenson. Like I said, hopefully Harrington and Queen come back on the qualifying offers. We do have an $8 million trade exception from the Gaffer trade. I guess that is something to keep an eye on. We should have a little bit of a mid-level exception. Not really. It's not great. So I may just offer Hood-Schifino a 1-year deal because I can look to trade that $7 million. Let's see if he even accepts that. And he does. And then could we still offer a deal out there? Like, I'll offer DJ Wagner a 2-year deal, but I want another point guard. We could go after Santi Aldama. Could go after Julian Phillips, who's only 26 years old. So those are guys we can go after. Jakob Poeltl's 34. Keith King, former 18th overall pick. But no, I think I'm going to take DJ Wagner if I'm able to afford him because I plan on moving Hood-Schifino. Boom, there we go. And we're going to make this trade. I'm going to send Jalen Hood-Schifino, who we just signed, and Dana Paul, the former 30th overall pick, to the Miami Heat for Noah Clowney. He's got 2 years left on their his contract. They're looking to shed some cap, and we are going to make him a power forward. He's coming off a season where he shot 38% from 3, and he's going to be starting in the spot that Bobby Portis has really taken control over the last couple of years. And we should be able to get these guys back on the qualifying offers. I mean, I could probably lock up Derek Queen right now for a solid deal. I mean, it's kind of risky, but I don't think I'm going to do it, actually. I think we're just going to get him back on the QO. Maybe an extension comes mid-season. But yeah, we're going to get Harrington and Queen back on the QO. So that's about $19 million in return. We're basically running this team back one more time. I'm not really sure how it's going to end up. Elson Harrington is 6'7", so I think I'm going to do some positional changes. I think he actually may start for us at the 2, Knipple at the 3, and then Kyrie goes to the bench. All right, so this is going to be the rotation, and I'm excited about it. Luka, Harrington, Knipple, Clowney, and Derek Lively's the starting 5. Hardy, Kyrie, Derek Queen, DJ Wagner, Jaron Stevenson off the bench. I am a fan of that. System efficiency is going to be 4.5 stars under Darko Rajakovic. I forget Kidd is no longer here. And Luka does have 2 years left on his deal. So say we have a round 1 exit. This could be the time we blow it up. We'll see. We'll see. We started the year at home against the Rockets. We ended up winning 133-109. Good games all around from most of the starting 5, which I'll take. And we're going to end the season 30 games above 500. We go 56-26. Cameron Boozer, the best player in Chicago since Derrick Rose wins MVP once again. Louis Ferguson, Rookie of the Year, the 2nd overall pick. Not super efficient, but the 6'3 guard out of Baylor doesn't look too bad. Brandon McCoy, 6th Man of the Year. This guy was the 2nd overall pick in 2027. He'd probably be on an All-NBA team if he was a starter anywhere else. There's Kareem Lopez. Pretty good player. I had him in a rebuild recently. I think it was the Hawks rebuild. Good player, developed well. And he has been Memphis to Mexico City. Cameron Boozer, clutch player of the year, and the Thunder go 71-11. The league is changing. Are we going to catch up? We'll have to see. There's Will Riley balling out on the Pacers. That is cool to see. Luka Doncic is on All-NBA 2nd team. Pretty good stuff, but not the player I feel like he used to be. Once again, keeping an eye on that. And we ended the year as the 3 seed in the West. The last year in the West, we lost to the Timberwolves in round number 1. We had a 9-point differential. We're taking on the Pelicans, who still have Cooper Flagg, but no longer have Zion Williamson. Pretty interesting that they chose Cooper over Zion, but I guess so. Makes sense. Continental averaged 19 points on unreal efficiency, 62% true shooting. Elston Harrington was really good as a shooting guard, 8 assists a night as well. There's Derek Lively, obviously been a backbone of this team. There's Jaden Hardy, Kyrie Irving, and maybe the last year of his career, probably the last year as a Dallas Maverick. Gave us good efficiency off the bench, but like I said, not the player he used to be. Noah Clowney, maybe looking like we bought high on him as a player. DJ Wagner was actually pretty good. I think he's going to play over Jaren Stevenson in the playoffs. Even though he's cold right now, he's going to get around 8 minutes a night. Queen can stay at 15. We're going to go 17 to Kyrie, 27 to Hardy. Let's go 35 to Lively. Let's go 38 to Luka, 35 to Harrington and Knipple, and we will do 30 to Noah Clowney. Gives us some size inside. Don't lose in round 1 again. This is the first playoff series for Darko Rajakovic, and we swept the Pelicans. I want to say that was somewhat of a favorable matchup for us, as Luka drops 26, Elston Harrington drops 23. We're taking on the Sacramento Kings in round number 2, who still have Devin Carter, but they have Jalen Green, Cody Williams, CMB, and Miles Turner, 2 through 5. They have Dame Sarr off the bench, Mackenzie Mbako, Jett Howard as well, and we lose in 5. All right, I did not think the Kings team was that good. Like, they're a good team. I didn't think that good. In round 2, Luka, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. He was good. So was Harrington and Knipple. Damn, but Clowney stunk, Lively stunk, Derek Queen stunk. Damn, all the big men could not perform, and that is the second straight season that we ended up losing before the conference finals. Now, losing in round 2 isn't the worst thing in the world. The Thunder ended up sweeping the Bulls. I just wonder where this team is at right now. So, if I'm getting rid of my top 5 guys, Kyrie's already one off the list. So, I would have to get rid of, like, Luka, probably Khan, Lively, maybe Harrington. So, basically, like, the starting 5, no Clowney, you add Kyrie. Like, we're on pace to do that right now. I got to figure out if that's the decision, because Kyrie, obviously I wasn't able to get anything for him. He ends up retiring, saves some money. Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving head to the Hall of Fame, 2 former number 1 overall picks in back-to-back drafts. And we did retire Kyrie Irving's jersey number as well. So here we are in the draft lottery. I will see who gets the number 1 pick, as the Mexico City Flight have the best odds, but they don't get it. They fall at 5. That's brutal. Raptors are picking at number 1. We're picking at number 30, and I don't even know what a Luka Doncic trade package would look like. The number 1 pick, Donald Stewart Jr., looks really good at 6'11". Like, this is the guy I would trade Luka Doncic for if that meant I got the number 1 overall pick for him. We're going to be going into year number 8. So do I think I should give Luka one more deal and then trade him around like year number 11, year number 12? Or do I go through with it right now and like enter into somewhat of a rebuild? Because if that is the case, like, I would move Luka in the last year of his deal. I don't even know, like, we probably have to get some type of player for him. Like, nobody really has $62 million anymore in this year. So, like, we look at the Raptors. They are paying a lot of money to Grady Dick. They're paying a lot of money to Scotty Barnes. RJ Barrett is getting, like, a little bit of money here. I mean, I don't even know how they'd afford Luka. And, like, could we do something like Hendricks, Barrett? I'd want pick 1. I'd want probably 3 more. Like, I'm just going to throw this out there at them. I don't know. Would you give me all of this for Luka Doncic? If they say yes to this, I may trigger trading Luka, hopefully at his peak, right? 32 years old. We spent 13 years here, and we're going to send him to the Raptors. Would they do this? They say no. Okay. I would really want the number 1 overall pick if I trade Luka. So, say I got rid of the 2033 first. Would that change your mind? It does not. And we're at like a financial constraint right now because they can't really take on much money. Obviously, they would want to pair up Scotty Barnes and Luka Doncic, so I don't really think they'd want to move anybody else. Like, Grady Dick's got, yeah, the best, like, money coming back thing that we'd have to do would be Hendricks and RJ Barrett. I can't really throw in anyone else. Like, could I throw in Jaren Stevenson? I could not. Could I throw in Frank Gibson? I could. I mean, I don't really think that changes too much, but let's see. Yeah, see, it's tough to get, like, equal value for Luka Doncic. I mean, I'm going to play around with it a little bit more, I think. So, say we did Hendricks. Like, I don't know. Like, I kind of want that number 1 overall pick. And say I just asked for your 2035 first. So, I feel like that's a fair package. I'll throw in Frank Gibson if that made it work. So, I'm getting Hendricks, Barrett, 2035 first, and hopefully a generational big man prospect. They still say no to that. Damn. Is it worth it just to get the number 1 overall pick here? It's like an Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning thing. Not really, honestly. I'm trying to think of, like, that really isn't. I guess, like, maybe an Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson thing. But you're trading for the number 1 pick. Would they do this? They say no. Okay. All right. Maybe we're not going to be able to do it. Unless we tried something with the Hornets and I get pick 2, Josh Giddey, and 2 future firsts, and then I use some of those assets to get up to number 1, because they can take on some money right now. So I don't know, like, if there's anybody else I would throw in, like, just DJ Wagner. Okay, they really can't take on much money. Do I do this? I get 3 first-round picks and then hopefully enough to get number 1. I think we do this. We let Giddy potentially run the show next year. He's 28 years old. It's something. They say no. All right, it's tough to really get these deals done. So maybe I hold off on trading Luka. Maybe we sign him to like a 3-year extension and we revisit this idea in 2 years. Oh my God, he didn't even go number 1. Wow, they took Gabriel Ross. All right, you guys are idiots. You could have bet Luka Doncic and Donald Stewart goes to Charlotte at 2. That was the guy. And we ended up taking Garrett Carter here out of Pepperdine, and then we ended up getting Chucky Bernard here out of Oregon State. Team player options, we don't have any right now. Zion, Reed Shepherd, and Brandon Miller are all free agents. Zion has spent some years in Los Angeles, Reed Shepherd in Phoenix, and obviously Brandon Miller just last year in Alaska. Probably not where you want to be, but it's how it's right now. All right, so we do have some trade offers now for Luka. Nate Ament from the 76ers would be a great, like him and Caden Boozer. Like, that's something to build around going forward. I mean, I'm not opposed to this idea because they could pair up Luka and Şengün. They get Donnie Freeman. All right, I mean, do you have any future first-round picks that I could maybe get? Like, say you gave me 2 first with Ament, Boozer. Like, say we just offer that. They say no. I would throw in Frank Gibson. I don't know if that helps get it done. They say no to that. DJ Wagner, does that get it done as well? Like, I would take probably this package. I would. Would they do this? They do not. Okay. I mean, I don't know if me throwing in seconds gets it done as well. Okay, so they are really not too inclined on throwing in some first. If I did this, I mean, I think I would do this. I'd basically get Caden Boozer, who's under control for 2 more years. I get Nate Ament, who is a building block. He's 23 years old. Looks really good. He already got extended. And I give them Luka. All right, so it looks like it would just be something straight up like that. Unless I give you Frank Gibson, because I kind of like that Clippers pick in a couple years. I don't really want to move Garrett Carter yet. Like, would I do this? Damn it. All right, so even if I had Wagner and Gibson, they don't really want to cut ties with that first. What about that one? Damn. All right, they really don't want to move any first here. This is probably the best player-for-player trade I'm going to get, just because Nate Ament is 23. Luka Doncic is in the final year, and he is 32. Would they even accept this, or I gotta go back out and do this? All right, screw it. We're going to blow up this team. We are going to trade Luka Doncic and Jaren Stevenson for Nate Ament and Caden Boozer. Luka is now going to Philadelphia. Yeah, franchise legend is gone. Luka is not going to be retiring as a Maverick. We are entering into somewhat of a soft rebuild. So with Kyrie retiring, I still have to move Con Knipple. I got to move Derek Lively, and I do have to let Elston Harrington pretty much leave in free agency. All right, I want to see if I can get Neil Craig, who was the 9th overall pick in 2031, and 2 future first-round picks from the Utah Jazz for Derek Lively. They are going to say no to that. What about if I threw in DJ Wagner in this deal as well? They will agree to it. So Derek Lively is now a Utah Jazz. All right, so I'm going to maybe make a change. You guys can let me know what's the best way to do this. I'm going to trade Jaden Hardy instead of Con Knipple because I feel like if we were tearing it down, we'd want to keep the 24-year-old. The 29-year-old will go. So maybe if you think it should be like my 5 highest age guys that are in the rotation, that'd be the best way to go about it. And I'm actually going to do this trade with the Milwaukee Bucks. We are sending them Jaden Hardy, who's in the last year of his deal, who actually was a very, very good Dallas Maverick. We're getting Julian Strawther in this deal, and we're also getting a 2033 lottery protected first. So yeah, like I said, we are going to let go of Elston Harrington in free agency. We're going to get priced out on him. But Derek Queen is somebody I would like to bring back. I'm hoping that price tag goes down a little bit throughout this phase. But yeah, Elston Harrington's got to go. And I'm really excited about Nate Ament because this guy could hopefully replicate what Luka Doncic meant to this city. 23 years old, went to UVA. Him and Queen are probably going to be the front court. Knipple's going to probably start at the 3, Strawther at the 2, and I'm excited about Caden Boozer at the 1. And we are going to look to re-sign Derek Queen, 4 years, $78 million. I'm excited to see what he can do as our starting center. I really wanted to get Tyler Kolek, but I think he ended up getting signed or I can't afford him. So I'm going to try to sign Peyton Sandfort, former Iowa Hawkeye, sharpshooter, currently there in real life. And Zion Williamson ended up going back to the Clippers, $320 million guaranteed. That's insane. As player progression, Ament at 92. Like, this team could definitely make the playoffs. I don't think it's a title team next year, but I like where we're headed. All right, so that was a long offseason just because I really wanted to figure out the best possible way to move Luka Doncic. It's a shame we didn't get the number 1 overall pick, but it's fine. I don't think, like, Carter's going to play. Frank Gibson, though, the former first-round pick in 2030, is going to get about 10 minutes a night. Neil Craig as the backup 5. 37 minutes is good. Peyton Sandfort is really going to crack this rotation, which is kind of insane. 6th man is probably going to be Noah Clowney. Yeah, probably. He's going to get like 24, 23 minutes a night. Derek Queen can get 31. We're going to go about 36 to Nate Ament. He is our guy. We're going to go 36 as well to Con Knipple. Let me know if you guys like that strap. We're going to go 34 to Boozer. Probably go like 32 to Strawther. Honestly, maybe 37 to Ament. We're going to play him a ton. Connie can get 24. Hopefully he doesn't eat into Ament's minutes too much. We dropped down to 4-star balance, which is not anything too crazy. We have a really good defensive game against the Lakers right there to start off the year. And sometimes in 2K, I kind of wish like they just took out the overalls, so you can like hide them and you're really evaluating based on age and stats. I think that'd be a cool way to look at things. I'm trying to see if I can land a first rounder for Noah Connie here at the deadline. I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Cody Williams, but I don't really want to be the one including a first round pick at all. Like, if I tried to get him, could I just maybe do multiple seconds? I want to hold on to my first right now. We're going to have a bunch in 2033, which is definitely a draft that we could turn things around on. Don't counter with the first, please. Don't counter with the first. They're going to counter with 2 firsts. I don't want Kevin McCullough Jr. It's going to be kind of difficult. Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe I throw in my first this year. But I don't even think I'm guaranteed Cody Williams in free agency since he's on a 1-year deal, correct? Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to make any moves this year. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to re-sign Noah Connie on a 1-year deal. Therefore, I could trade him on draft night at about $16.5 million. Also, we just blew out the Philadelphia 76ers by, oh my God, we held them to 9 points in the 4th quarter. Yeah, we ended up winning by 36. Luka this year, in a contract year, I don't know if he got an extension. He has been good. We just had a horrible game against us. Did he get that new extension? He did not. That would be a major blow if they're not able to re-sign him. And Cameron Boozer, the brother of Caden Boozer, who's on our team, wins MVP once again. Kaya Mansons over in, Alaska. He's from Turkey, though, ends up getting Rookie of the Year. 6th man is Amen Thompson in Minnesota. Interesting. Is he a free agent at the end of the year? I would love him on my team. Damn, Jason Kidd knew this was a sinking ship. He ends up over there in Brooklyn. I should have counted him as like one of my 5 guys, and then I could have held on to Jaden Hardy as Luka is on All-NBA first team. No Nate Ament. We did get Neil Craig on All-Rookie first team. Derek Queen, though, was pretty good for us. We ended the year as a 5 seed, so it's not like it was a total rebuild. We are still a 50-win team this year, so not bad whatsoever. We're trying to have sustainable success. Nate Ament was pretty good. I think we're going to move Noah Connie as the 6th man because he's probably eating into Ament's minutes a little bit too much than I want, but he did play 35 minutes a night, so I'm not sure. But he was really good for us. We're taking on the San Antonio Spurs here in round number 1, so a Battle of Texas. As we take a look at the season stats, we could see that Ament was our leading scorer, followed by Con Knipple, who's now been here for 7 years. Been a good player. Caden Boozer had a good season for us as well. I feel like he's a little bit underpaid now for the production he's giving us. Derek Queen is good. Just stop taking threes, dude. You're not going to hit them. But I think the bench definitely needs to be worked on a little bit. I didn't expect to beat San Antonio, and we ended up getting swept in round number 1. I'm sure Wemby ended up owning us in this series. So they have Cameron Holmes, pretty good player. Victor Wembanyama averaged 23 and 8. No longer did we have Derek Larver to try guarding him. Malachi Brandon was good. And Jada Benson, not as good. Interesting. So we'll see here who ends up winning the NBA Finals. But first, I actually wanted to see who played well for us in the playoffs. And it was Ament. It was Boozer. Damn. I think it's just really our bench being really bad. And Noah Connie, I think, has got to go during draft night. He wasn't good. So you got Jason Kidd versus Wemby in the finals, and Jason Kidd could not get a ring with the Nets this year. They ended up losing in 7. And there goes Derek White, there goes Robert Williams, Mo Wagner, DiVincenzo. All these guys end up retiring. So draft lottery time. Did we get any cool picks? We did not. I think it's next year where we can end up getting some different picks. So we have just our pick at 25. Pacers and Mexico City got the first 2 picks. Boston there at 3. So yeah, Mexico City has been pretty bad so far. So we ended up getting Darius Rose at pick 25, Vlade Tarlak at pick 50, like 7 would be. Number 1 overall pick was Mitchell Norris. Did not look as good as last year's draft class as the 76ers. Were you guys that bad with Luka? Oh my God, what a disappointment. And we are going to make a big trade with Mexico City. They are trying to go all in. We are going to get Bradford Randall, who was the 5th overall pick last year from Notre Dame, going to be a power forward, and I'm getting their 2033 unprotected first. We're giving them Noah Connie and Julian Strother. Yeah, I'm glad Brendan McCoy left OKC to go there because now he's putting up MVP caliber numbers. So we are going to do that trade with them. Frank Gibson, I think I'm going to let walk. He's been somewhat of a bust, but he was the 29th overall pick. Chucky Bernard, we're going to let walk as well. I believe we're going to have a little bit of cap space. Not sure how much, though, here in free agency. So let's take a look. Do we have enough to sign Edgecombe? We would not. Damn. So we're at the point where it's like impossible to get any of these guys. Hey, Najee Marshall, you're just collecting a check from us every year. You're basically Udonis Haslam. How funny would it be if I signed Luka? So right now, we have our starting point guard. We got to figure out our starting shooting guard. We have our starting small forward, power forward, and center. So for anything, we're looking for that starting shooting guard. Jacoby Walter, we could take a chance on. I don't hate that idea. Quentin Grimes, bringing him back. He's 32. I would go after Jacoby Walter. I would give you a 12 million a year, 3 years, team option on the last year, and I would front load it. Like, it's a very team-friendly deal. Is Luka going to go back to Philly? Probably, as he should. So let's sign both these guys. And I like Jacoby Walter. I think he could be better than Strother, and I like our upside for some of these guys long-term. We're going to hopefully continue to build through the draft. But for now, I think next year our bench is going to be bad again. Like, it's Sanford, it's Randall, it's Craig. It's very young. Ugh, God, it's not very good right now. So I could look to, like, I need a point guard. but I don't really love any of these guys. Like a 33-year-old Jordan Poole, a 33-year-old Emmanuel Quickley don't really help me out too much, as Luka ended up going back to the Sixers on a 4-year max. And this team is young and very good. Randall could be a very good trade for us. Derek Queen, Caden Boozer, who's going to be probably paid a lot of money at the end of the year. All right, so we're going to see Garrett Carter, who was our first round pick a couple years ago, in action. Got great hair. Neil Craig is going to be the backup center once again. Peyton Sanford off the bench, and we'll see what Bradford Randall can do in about 20 minutes a night. I think Derek Queen, like, we're going to be on our Tibbs era, I think. Niederman, you're going to get like 38 minutes a night. Concanable, honestly, same thing. I think we'll lower him in a little bit just because he's a big. We'll see what Jacoby Walter could do with 33 minutes, 32 minutes, and then we're going to go about 35 to Caden Boozer. System proficiency is going to be 4.5 star balanced under Darko Rajakovic, aka Tibbs 2.0. We start off the year blowing out Jason Kidd. That feels good. And then we end up beating the Pelicans by a bunch. Something I did think of doing this year was making Ament a small forward, starting Bradford Randall if he was legit, and then moving Walter to the bench. But I don't know if we're going to really be entering those waters at all. So Cameron Boozer seems like he's the new Luka Doncic. He ends up winning MVP. Boyd Moody is your Rookie of the Year. Marcus Johnson, Sixth Man of the Year. Wemby takes home Depoy. Most improved is David Ward, and John Morant is your Clutch Player of the Year. As we do see John Morant, Michael Ruzic in Mexico City on All-NBA first team, Alex Costanza over there in Brooklyn. Bass, Milwaukee, so he left Toronto. Okay. Caden Boozer. All right, so I do have to say that we made some contract extensions, and this one looks like it's paying dividends already, which is nice to see. As we locked up the top 3 guys going forward, Caden Boozer got a new extension. He's going to be getting a $16 million pay raise. Nate Mint got a new extension, as well as Con Knipple, who's going to be making about $20 million more dollars. So we're locking up Knipple, Boozer, and Ament, as we think they could be the 3 that could win us back, or bring us back to the NBA Finals. Jacoby Walter was fine this year. Derek Queen, maybe not as much. I wonder if Neil Craig could potentially be an option for us going forward. We will see. We are going to be taking on the LA Clippers here in the playoffs. I don't think we've played them yet. Now that they have Zion Williamson, they got Grady Dick coming off the bench. Let's see if we're able to defeat them. And we ended up coming back down 3-1 to win in 7. We went 51-31, 2 games better than them. We had the 3rd best point differential. I still don't think that we're like a finals team by any means, but that's encouraging. We were down 3-1 with Caden Boozer shooting 37% from the field. I'll take that. Round number 2 against the Sacramento Kings. They beat us in the past, but not this time, as this team, for the first time in the post-Luka era, although this is just the 2nd year of that, we're in the conference finals already. The 76ers are also in the conference finals. That would be sick if we go up against them in the NBA Finals. They're an 8 seed, so they're on an incredible run right now. We're going up against Edgecombe, Scoot, Caleb Holt, Bam, Kling Kong. I gotta start learning how to say that nickname fast. Rocco Sikorsky, Jaime Jaquez, all those guys. Are we able to beat them? I feel like they are better than us, but we win in 7. Caden Boozer, who had a poor round 1, an All-NBA second team member, gets Finals MVP in the West, as unfortunately Philly ended up getting swept. So we are back here in the NBA Finals. It's looking like we did that teardown as good as we should. We lose game 1, we lose game 2, win game 3, win game 4, lose game 5, and we are going to a game 7, folks. Game 7 of the NBA Finals here in 2033. Can we get our 6th ring and pick up our first one in a few years? The first one with no Jason Kidd and Luka Doncic. Can we come back down in the 4th quarter? We're down by 11. We had a lead for a second, but then they go on a run. We're down by 9. Down by 9 again, and we are going to lose game 7. Will Riley, the former Illinois member, wins Finals MVP. Tyrese Halliburton is 33 years old. They have Gilbert Arenas' son, Dylan Harper, average a triple-double. They have a ton of good guards there, and unfortunately, we couldn't get it done. So there goes Wiggs, Jaylen Brown, Sabonis, Siakam, Embiid, Malik Monk, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges. A lot of notable names end up retiring. Hall of Fame includes Embiid and Jaylen Brown, and Jalen Brunson, not to the Hall of Fame, but gets his jersey retired by the New York Knicks. And here we go. We do have some teams, first rounders. We could have 2 lottery picks, one from Mexico City and one from Utah, and we end up getting not super lucky in this one, it looks like. So that Jazz pick had a protection. That pick is number 7. We do get Mexico City's pick at 13 from the Noah Clowney trade. Minnesota's picks at 30, so that one didn't have the greatest value. Milwaukee at number 19. So yeah, these picks are okay. Nothing too special, as I was hoping we were going to get like one top 10 pick. But next year we will have Utah's pick. Hopefully that does have some good value then. All right, so this is the time where we can really improve our bench. And we are going to make most of these draft picks. I don't know if we're going to make all of them. I may try to move like 28, 30, and like in the second rounder to move up. And we're actually going to send these picks to Portland, as well as a future second for 2 future firsts from the Portland Trailblazers. As Sebastian Zomari from Hungary is your number 1 pick to the Celtics. Okay. And we took 2 wings in this draft. It looks like Abe Carl looks really good and should have been the number 1 pick. It's funny. A lot of good Abes in this so far. So Carson Parks, we get at 13 from Siena, which I think that's the school upstate New York if it's that Siena. I don't know if it has 2 ends. And the Rolando Hendricks from UCLA. I like both those picks. I think they could be very good bench pieces for us long term. Garrett Carter, I'm going to pick up that team option, but I'm not thrilled with his development so far. I feel like we're not hitting on these late first. I'm going to give Peyton Sandfort the qualifying offer. So here in free agency, Najee Marshall, you are the Udonis Haslem. Welcome back, man. And I'm going to look to sign Aiden Sheridan on a 3-year deal. I know it's another big man, but I think it's probably the best value play there. So we are going to sign him 3 years, $38 million. And we get Sanford back on the QO. We are led by Nate Ament once again, but Bradford Randall looks like he's developing. I don't know if he's going to have the 3-point shot to be a small forward, but maybe we try that out this season. Giannis is doing a farewell tour this season, so maybe we try this out. I don't know if we should do a men at the 3, but we're going to do Randall at the 3. Jacoby Walters, the 6th man. Aiden Sheridan's going to come off the bench with Neil Craig. And I think as much as I like Peyton Sandfort, I'm going to try to see what some of these rookies can do. So like Carson Parks is going to get 15 minutes. And I think instead of it going to like Darius, do we play Darius Rose over Rolando Hendricks? Maybe we give him a shot. Maybe I give him 10 minutes a night. And then I'm going to go 35 to Boozer, 35 to Knipple, and probably the rest to Nate Ament. He'll get 35 minutes a night. Maybe I go 15 to Craig and I go about 29, or we'll do 26 to Randall. 30 to Derek Queen. Says in proficiency is 4-star balance. We'll see if there's some spacing issues with Bradford as the small forward, or excuse me, but yeah, Bradford Randall, 1 of 8 from 3 to start off the year. That is not a good sign. Yeah, Cameron Boozer is just winning MVP every year. Julian Finley, who the Sixers took at number 4, 6'1" point guard, rookie of the year. City Gay is your 6th man of the year off the bench. Ace Bailey, defensive player of the year. So they have Ace and Cameron Boozer in Chicago. It's kind of sick. And we didn't get any awards this year, but we still finished as the 2 seed in the West. Yeah, we go 62-20. We actually had a better point differential than Sacramento, as Memphis was really good in the East. Philadelphia does not make the playoffs out of the play-in tournament with Luka Doncic. So they were an 18 last year. Don't make the playoffs this year. I'm excited about this team going forward. I mean, Bradford Randall looks pretty good. It looks like we may have robbed Mexico City in that trade. And for the playoff rotation, I don't know if Carson Parks is going to make it or Darius Rose. Actually, I think Parks will make it over Rose. So we're going to go like 10 minutes to Parks off the bench. Jacoby Walter can get like 20 minutes a night. 30 to Derek Queen's probably fine. Let's go 38 to Ament. Let's go 38 to Bradford Randall. Let's go 40 to Concanipple and 40 to Caden Boozer. Round number 1 against the Utah Jazz. They still have Keontae George, which is cool. They have Alex Sarr as well over there. They have Ian Jackson and Drake Powell. Both of them are currently playing at UNC, so that is cool. They're on the same team. And we sweep the Jazz in round number 1. We're going to be taking on the Portland Trailblazers in round number 2. Just taking a look here at the playoff stats, in which Concanipple averaged 37-7. It's kind of unreal. Round number 2 against the Portland Trailblazers. They still have Scoot, VJ, Asor Thompson now. That's a fun 1 through 3. They have an older Tyrese Maxey, and we are going to lose in 7. They go up 3-1. We come back to force a game 7, but unfortunately, we weren't able to win it. 49 for VJ Edgecombe in game 7 as we lost by 2. What a series. Yeah, Con was great in round number 1. In round number 2, Con, man, he had a really good playoff, like first 2 rounds, but unfortunately we weren't able to win it all. You're gonna have the Kings and the Bucks here in the NBA Finals, the Dante DiVincenzo Bowl, and the Bucks win in 6 with Abe Bass, former Raptor, Finals MVP. And there goes Giannis, Miles Turner, Kat, Zubac, Jared Allen on Boston, Bam Adebayo in Portland. All these guys end up retiring. I did see Najee Marshall also retired as well, unfortunately. So there goes our Udonis Haslem. We don't retire his jersey number, though. So unfortunately, that Jazz pick wasn't going to be the best in the world. It ended up being the 18th overall pick. We also own our pick at 30. So Darko Rajakovic, I believe, is a free agent. Do we bring back Jason Kidd? We could. I think I'm going to bring back Darko. I think he's done a fine job here so far. Never mind. I completely missed it. He ended up retiring. So do I bring back Jason Kidd? I mean, I'll offer him a deal. It doesn't hurt to. I'll offer Joe Maz a deal. I'll offer Mark Dagno a deal. Any other fun head coaches here? Will Hardy's here. Kenny Atkinson is here. I'll offer him a deal as well. And we end up getting Maz and Atkinson. I'll bring in Joe Maz to be the next Mavericks head coach. The number 1 pick ended up being Bradford Cobb, a center out of Kentucky. Number 2 was CJ Frazier out of Notre Dame. We ended up taking Glenn Newman, a small forward out of Southern Illinois. And we got Vin Bender, a center at 30. So T-bar options, I'm going to pick it up on Jacoby Walter, but I think he could end up being a trade candidate. Darius Rose, I'm going to pick up as well. Walter wasn't great in the playoffs, but he was fine throughout the regular season. As we're seeing Cameron Boozer be a free agent, Cade, Paolo, JQ from Arizona State. You got Nolan Traore, you got Alex Costanza, Alperen Şengün, Alex Sarr. Okay, so Peyton Sandfort, Sure, you want to come here on the minimum. We're negative 72 million in cap right now, which is not ideal. And I'm going to make this trade with the Denver Nuggets. We're going to be sending them Jacoby Walter, our first round pick this year, Neil Craig, and a 2038 second rounder. We're getting JT Dudley in this trade, who could be the backup center or could be the rookie. So I didn't think I was going to extend Craig at the end of next year's season, but we're getting Ron Evans, who was the 7th overall pick a couple years ago. I think he could provide some value to this team going forward. It's just getting another wing off the bench. I don't know if I could use a mid-level exception on a center. Maurice Law, sure, I will do that. Let's sign him and pay him. And Nate Ament is a 94 overall, Conkin Nipples a 92, Caden Boozer 91, and then there's Bradford Randall, who's up to an 89 overall. So we did have to release somebody before the season started. It was going to be Garrett Carter, the former first-round pick, the dude with the long hair that didn't really work out for us. So this rotation maybe going to look a little bit different. Looks like Jokic is retiring at the end of the year. I'm thinking about adding 2 more expansion teams to the end of this year's season. JT Dudley, we could give some minutes over Bender, or Maurice Law. Carson Parks, yeah, I would like to play probably more, maybe similar amount to Ron Evans. I think Aiden Sheridan can get like 17 minutes a night. They want to put Bradford Randall off the bench. Okay, so this is where we're going to change up the rotation a little bit. Peyton Sanford, I don't think is going to crack it. So we're going to go with Evans as the 6th man. And then we have Sheridan, Parks, Dudley. And then the last spot, I think, is going to go to Rolando Hendricks, who was a first-round pick a couple years ago. He's going to get like 13 minutes a night with JT Dudley. I got 12 more minutes to go. Let's go 34 to the big 3. And then let's go 30 to Randall and Derek Queen. That's what we're going to rock with this season. In 2035, we are 4.5 stars under our 3rd head coach here. Cade left us. Darko retired. So now we got Joe Mazzulla. So Abe Bass is your MVP. Wow, just what a trajectory this guy's career. He didn't really play. I guess played like 1 game in his rookie season. Now he's winning MVPs. Sebastian Zamori, the 1st overall pick a few years ago in year number 2, looks like a beast. He wins most improved. Brandon McCoy is your clutch player of the year. And Steve Kerr still getting it done. He is your coach of the year. No Dallas. Oh, no. Caden Boozer does make All-NBA 3rd team. I yanked him up to a new extension as well. He's been a good player for us, but it's kind of disappointing that Nate Ament has yet to make an All-NBA team with this squad. But there hasn't been a season where the Dallas Mavericks haven't made the playoffs. Here we are as the 1 seed, as the 2 seed in the Western Conference. We're taking a look at the standings. We were 1 game out of the 1 seed, but maybe point differential wise shows that we're not really a top 4 team right now. Shout out to the Anchorage Blizzard becoming a good team, it looks like. And our top scorer was Nate Ament this season, followed by Conkin Nipple, Bradford Randall, Caden Boozer, Derek Queen, who we did re-sign to an extension to be the center going forward. Bradford Randall's going to want a lot of money in free agency. He could end up being like a sign and trade candidate. We'll see. We're taking on the Denver Nuggets in round number 1, led by Jamal Brand, who was that number 1 overall pick. Wow, Portland traded him to Denver. Why would they do that? I don't know. Oh, there's Neil Craig, who's apparently up to an 84 overall. Isn't that just great to see? They have Nikola Jokic, but he's obviously older. He's 40 years old. He doesn't want to retire. He doesn't want to go have fun with his horses, as Jacoby Walter was a good player for them. Couple revenge series here, but we end up blowing a 2-0 lead. All right. That is very disappointing. I will not lie. If we take a look here at the playoff stats, Nate Ament was pretty good. Caden Boozer was fine. I thought it could be a little bit of a difference maker. And I'm not sure if we should think about moving some of these guys at the top going into the offseason. Ron Evans, that experiment really wasn't great. Carson Parks, though, is developing at a good pace. I thought Rolando Hendricks was good in his rookie season as well. Aiden Sheridan, man, he was abysmal in the playoffs. And Cooper Flagg wins Western Conference Finals MVP in 2035 with the LA Lakers, but they're going up against arguably the best player in the NBA, Abe Bass. But the Lakers win it all. And Cooper Flagg, who signed with LA, is your Finals MVP. He's also playing with Chris Sanak there from LSU. And then you have De'Aaron Fox at the 1. Cam Christie is there. No longer Max, but it's Cam. They also have Daniel Gafford, who just got another ring in his career. A lot of notable retirements, as you see Mitchell on the Grizzlies, Tatum on the Wizards. Okay, trying to follow Bradley Beal's footsteps, his buddy from St. Louis. Loaded Hall of Fame class here with Jokic, Tatum, Booker, and Mitchell. All of them getting their jerseys retired. So we did have Utah's pick this year and Portland's. I forget if there's a top 3 protection on that, as there wasn't on Utah's, because we just ended up with the number 1 overall pick and number 4 from Portland. That's kind of insane. All right, so we also, do we own our first round pick? No, the Nuggets get it at 30 from the Jacoby Walter trade, but we can now, I think, go all in with this team. So obviously we can look trading one of these picks. Homer Caffey, it looks like the consensus 1.1 in the draft out of Utah. He's 6'5", going number 1 in all the mocks. So do we think he's good enough to draft? Probably. He's 18 years old. All right, so he's going to be the clear 1.1. Do we think about trading the 4th overall pick? So maybe we'll see. Number 1 overall, though, we are going to take Homer Caffey here, the 6'5" shooting guard out of Utah, and he's going to be probably your starting shooting guard on night one. Louis Poole from Georgia Tech goes number 2, a 6-foot point guard. And the Warriors take Niko Stankovic out of Lithuania with the 3rd overall pick. So it looks like Caffey, clear 1.1 in this draft, which is good. Do we take another rookie is a big question, like Samuel Collins, or do we look to trade this pick? You know what? We're going to usher in a new rookie class. I'm going to take Samuel Collins out of UConn. And we're going to hope that these guys can develop as they don't look too bad on paper. We also are going to decline the team option on former first-round pick Darius Rose. Everybody else we're going to pick it up on Elijah Arenas, Reggie Williamson, and Reed Shepard headline free agency. We also drafted a 34th, or no, what was he? 31st overall pick in the draft, as it's Patrick Sharp. It's a point guard. He's not too good. Qualifying offers, Ron Evans and Bradford Randall are going to get him. I don't know if they're going to get major deals or they're going to come back on the qualifying offer. I think next year we're going to implement 2 more expansion teams, as these guys want too much money. And Utah, that pick worked out. I got number 1 overall. They're going to offer me 2 first-round picks or a protection backup. So a good first-rounder, I think, for Aiden Sheridan. All right, so I'm going to try to sign Bradford Randall on a 2-year deal that's for him to become a free agent at 27 years old. It's going to be $70 million over 2 years. As Ron Evans is probably going to come back on the qualifying offer, about $15 million. Here is player progression. Hopefully we can win our first title in like 5 years. All right, so this is going to be the starting 5. We're going to have to play the number 1 overall pick. He was it for a reason. So let's play Homer Caffey, the starting shooting guard minutes. We are going to have Bradford Randall, Carson Parks, Ron Evans, Rolando Hendricks, and JT Dudley coming off the bench. I do think at the deadline, I'm going to look to move Homer Evans, or not Homer Evans, Homer Caffey is the shooting guard. Evans is Ron Evans, because I'm not going to be able to afford him in the offseason. And if I can get a first for him, I should take it. All right, so I'm going to be making this trade with the Atlanta Hawks. We're going to be acquiring the 2nd overall pick, Louis Poole here, who hasn't played for them. He's 6-foot, undersized guard, but I'm also getting a future first-round pick, which I intended to get for Ron Evans, and I'm getting the most recent 2nd overall pick. I'll take that. And we are here at the trade deadline. Just kind of want to see some of the scoring, as Homer Caffey has been pretty good already as a rookie. As Cameron Boozer wins MVP this season, Homer Caffey does take home Rookie of the Year. Let's go. Ross Payton is your 6th Man of the Year. Ace Bailey is your DPOY. Most improved is Mitchell Norris. Clutch Player of the Year is JJ Andrews. And Coach of the Year is Otis Newman. And here is All-NBA first team with Cameron Boozer, Jamal Brand, Abe Bass, Ace Bailey in Chicago. With Cam Boozer. So they have 2 All-NBA first team guys. That's insane. And Jackson Knox the 2nd from UMass in Mexico City. Okay, that is a diamond in the rough for them. That is pretty cool. We did not take home anybody on an All-NBA team. Homer Caffey is your All-Rookie first team honors, though, as we finish the season as the 3 seed, taking on Minnesota. Last time, we were the 3 seed and took on Minnesota. They beat us in round number 1. So I feel like at this point, Caden Boozer is becoming more of a facilitator. 7.6 assists tonight, 1.1 steals. There's Bradford Randall, who's really good. I just don't know where, like, anybody has a chance to grow on this team, just because we have so much talent and the ball is like, I don't know, we can't just distribute it enough for everybody to score to their highest potential. Like Carson Parks, I think is really good. Homer Caffey's going to be really good in this league. I just don't know if that means we let somebody walk. Like maybe I let Con Knipple walk when he's a free agent. So let's see in round number 1 if we're able to beat that. Okay, well, we just got swept. I thought that was our best season yet. In this like post Luka rebuild, and Bradford Randall with a stinker. All right, well, that is a shame. Caden Boozer was good. Nate Ament was good, but he never really ended up being like that top guy that I thought he was going to be when we acquired him from Philadelphia back in 2031. And AJ Debanta is your Western Conference Finals MVP, and Cameron Boozer in the East. And the Bulls sweep them, with Cameron Boozer being your Finals MVP. So De'Aaron Fox retires, Kobe White retires, Garland Morant, a lot of point guards, Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young. Oh my God, the amount of point guards that ended up retiring this year. Ton of head coaches or just coaches in general retire, but just Ja and Halliburton made it to the Hall of Fame. We do have the 14th overall pick via Utah. We have the 17th overall pick via Atlanta, and I'm going to make a trade with the Pelicans. I'm sending them Bradford Randall for the number 1 overall pick in the 2036 draft. I'm taking on Sidney Moss contract as well. I just wasn't going to be able to afford him when he was a free agent next year. And I think I am going to trade Derek Queen at one point as well, because I'm going to draft Julian Collins here, who looks very good. 7'3" center from Wisconsin. That is the center of the future right there. So yeah, he was clear the 1.1 in this draft. We're going to sign him. We got Jesse Galloway at 19. I drafted a bunch of centers here, 3. And then we got Lonnie Woodson, who is going to be a wing. We're going to sign somebody on a 2-way. So Vin Bender is going to be gone. Glenn Newman, former first rounder, I'll hold on to just for now. JT Dudley, like, He's probably going to be the backup center. Like, we have a lot of centers on this team right now. And we are going to send Derek Queen to Mexico City. We're getting Wayne Vaughn in this trade. He is a 6'6" power forward, former 13th overall pick, but I'm getting a future first-round pick from Mexico City. That's why we want to do this trade. So we actually do own a decent amount of, I mean, we own a Jazz. I feel like we own the Jazz picks every year. We own their pick next year, Mexico City's, Portland's down the line, and we are going to let basically everybody walk here, Bender, Law, and Sanford. All right, so Nate Ament is going to stay at his overall, but we're seeing Homer Caffey go up, Rolando Hendricks, Carson Parks, JT Dudley goes up, same with Collins, Poole, and Newman. And I do have to release somebody before the season starts. It may be Sidney Law here, who I feel like we got in a trade, a former 7th overall pick. Just not going to cut it for us. It's a tough world. We are going to add, I think, 4 expansion teams at the end of the year. I want to get, like, this league is getting crowded. I want to add some more teams. So we are going to be adding the Seattle Supersonics, the St. Louis Thunderbirds, the Pittsburgh Phantoms, and the Cincinnati Royals at the end of the year. So hopefully that could just help out with some of these players maybe going unsigned in free agency and can maybe make the league a little bit more balanced. So for Collins' rookie year, he's going to play 24 minutes a night along with JT Dudley. So they're basically going to split the minutes, shades of Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford from a bunch of years ago. We're probably going to go 24 minutes as well to Carson Parks. Boozer needs to get like 33 to Ament, 33 Knipple. Let's go 28 to Homer Caffey. So we're going to have Parks, Hendricks, Samuel Collins, former 4th overall pick, and then I guess we give Lewis Poole some runtime off the bench. I don't think Glenn Newman's going to ever crack the rotation. It's just we have a deep team. We've been drafting a ton of guys. Started the year at home against the Atlanta Hawks. We end up winning by 14. Hopefully this team with its different vibe is going to be better this season. We end up beating the Knicks by 21 there. Hendricks had 23 off the bench. Good to see. All right, so in the offseason, we're going to figure out who do I want to commit a lot of money to. Is it going to be Con Knipple? Is it going to be Nate Ament? I don't know if it's going to be both. Reggie Williamson wins MVP for the Brooklyn Nets, joined Collins Rookie of the Year, so that's our 2nd straight Rookie of the Year with Homer Caffey getting it last year. I'll take that. And we are the 1 seed in the Western Conference, taking on the 8 seeded Thunder. I'm hoping in this back half of the rebuild, we can actually build a dynasty once again, like we had in the early stages of this rebuild. We had the highest point differential in the Western Conference, but 2nd in the NBA. Yep. I don't know if Jason Kidd is still their coach. He is. That's a very good team over there in Brooklyn. And here were the player stats this season with Nate Ament leading the scoring. I feel like it could, I mean, Con Knipple is just so efficient. But if he was making like 30 million a year, 40 million, I don't know, 50, 60 million, that's going to be tough to pay him. When Homer Caffey, I think it's going to be developing just as good right now. Round 1 against the Thunder. We haven't, I think, faced them in the playoffs like this early before, and we end up beating them in 6. So we're taking on the Pelicans, who I think we're going to be going up against an old buddy in Bradford. I already forgot his last name. Is he Bradford Randall? He's actually starting at center for them. And they have Gilbert Arenas' and Trevor Ariza's sons in their backcourt. Round number 2 against the Pelicans. Can we make it to the conference finals? We can. We win in 5. And now we're going up against Cooper Flagg and the LA Lakers. Can we make it to the NBA finals? Yes, we can. We win in 7. And Nate Ament is showing me why I should re-sign him this offseason. We're going up against our former head coach and Jason Kidd. Ament is having a great playoff run right now. Let's see. Can we beat the Nets? Game 1 goes to Dallas. Okay. We end up beating Williamson, who you could say is like the best player in the NBA. We win game 2. All right. Caden Boozer with 25. Game 3 goes to Dallas. Do not blow a 3-0 lead. And we swept them. Let's go. Caden Boozer is your finals MVP. The Nets were 12-2 until they met us in the finals, and we swept. And there goes Zion Williamson. I think he's going to get his jersey retired by the Clippers. Definitely LaMelo Ball getting his jersey retired by the Charlotte Hornets. So here are the staff retirements. Igor Kokoskov. Remember him. Zion does go to the Hall of Fame. And he does not get his jersey retired by the Clippers. Okay. I thought he would. We are going to add a ton of teams. Now, it says contracted from the league. I hope that doesn't mean I'd be removing teams, right? Oh, man. I don't know if that's going to remove the Mexico City team and the Alaskan team. I think that's just what it is. This rule cannot be replaced. I don't know if I go to expansion. Is there even another expansion thing I can do? Because that would be kind of unfortunate. I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen with that, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully no teams get removed. We're about to find out. League realignment. Okay, I think we're good. As the Blizzard and the Mexico City team should still be here. So this is what they come up with. I don't know if I really like Mexico City in the Atlantic. I'd rather just swap them with the Heat right now. And then we're going to throw the Pittsburgh team in the Atlantic, at least for now. Heat are going back to the Southeast. Any of these teams should be in the Atlantic because I do feel like Pittsburgh should probably be in the Central, but we're not going to do that. Cincinnati in the Southeast seems kind of ridiculous. So we're going to probably put St. Louis in the Southeast since he's going to be there. Wait, did they remove? Am I tripping? Like, where are the Memphis Grizzlies? Okay, they're back in the Southwest. This is fine with me. Seattle Supersonics in the Northwest. All right, we're going to ride with this. We now have 36 teams in the NBA, which is kind of insane. I saw our logo a couple times. Mexico City and Portland. We could get there first. I feel like there was a protection on Mexico City, and there was. They end up getting the #1 pick. Portland is at 18. That's the end of the lottery now. We also had 28 via Utah, and our pick at 36. So I don't know how many players I get to protect, but we are going to protect probably all these guys. I'm fine with Lonnie Woodson potentially walking, Jonathan Bennett, and there's Wayne Vaughn. I think I'd rather keep Woodson. So let's do that, and let's submit those. Let's see the top pick of the expansion draft. Noah Essengay goes to the Royals. Some of these teams make it kind of gross towards the end of it. Like Ron Holland was a second-round pick. But yeah, it's going to be like that. I see Nas Reed at 37 getting drafted. Hopefully these teams were wise, though, and they can kind of use some of that money in free agency. And yeah, we're definitely going to be losing the guys we didn't keep. And I'm going to make this trade with Portland. I'm going to give them 2 first-round picks and Lonnie Woodson for Jett Howard in the final year of his deal and a 2039 first. I just wanted to consolidate some of my draft picks as the #1 pick. You know what? I didn't even want to end this year's draft. Hopefully there's a better player next year. I took Christopher Page at 18 and Artie Hurley at 35. Homer Caffey, welcome back. Samuel Collins. How was he last year? He was okay. Hopefully he's better this year. Lewis Poole for $19 million. I think we're going to decline that. I ended up getting the first round pick I won in that trade. We're going to let him be a free agent. Glenn Newman, $8 million. Sure, because that could be used in a trade for maybe the time being. We do have some notable qualifying offers that are going to be going out. And yeah, Continental is a free agent. Nate Ament is a free agent as well. The Timberwolves have given him a 3-year max. I am going to give him a 5-year deal. That is so much money. Let's do 5 years, $300 million. Hopefully that is his #1 offer. Let's see. I think so. I think we're going to get him back on that. And we do. That's so much money, man. That is so much money. $60 million every single year. I think Khan is probably gone. I don't think I'm going to pay him that much money. He's going to get a max from the Timberwolves or Lakers. So it's been real, Con Knipple. It has been real. He does leave us. We drafted him very early on. He ends up going to the Timberwolves, making $57 million a year. Good for him. And we are going to get some of these guys back on the qualifying offers, but we're going to get Carson Parks back on a great deal, 4 years, $74 million. Hendricks and Dudley should be coming back on the QOs. There we go. Player progression. This team is really good. Cappy's already a 90 overall. Julian Collins is at an 88. I'll probably look to move JT Dudley, and Galloway's going to be the backup center. I'm a fan of this team right now. And we're going to be sending JT Dudley to the Seattle Supersonics for a future first-round pick, and Jin Wong, who's only making $12 million. And at this year, that's not a lot of money. So they get a stud in JT Dudley, who we got from Denver from a trade a couple years ago, and he's going to be really good in Seattle as a top scoring option. So it's going to be Boozer, Caffey, Collins, who we got in the same draft as Caffey, Nate Ament, and Julian Collins as the starting 5. Looks really good. Parks, Hendricks, Newman, and Jin Wong off the bench. System proficiency is 4-star balanced under Joe Mazzulla. We start off the year with 2 wins in division. So Wemby is still winning depoys. He's 34 years old. Can I even see how many he's won? Not on this screen. I would have to check the recent history. But he's averaging 13 points a night, but just still winning these awards. Shout out to Kareem Lopez. Adam, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. All-NBA first team in Seattle. I'm sure they're playing a ton of minutes with Rocco Sikorsky over there as well. And we are the 1 seed taking on the Phoenix Suns in round number 1. So we end up going 56-26, the best record in the West. No expansion teams ended up making the playoffs in the West. The Anchorage Blizzard were the best ones at 42-40. They do have Cade Cunningham now, which is kind of cool. Seattle went 40-42. They have a really good team, actually. How did JT Dudley play over there? Ooh, not very good. Well, he only played 7 minutes tonight. There's probably the minutes glitch over there. Mexico City, they have 35 wins, man. They have yet to really build a really good team. Pittsburgh was really bad. St. Louis was really bad. Cincinnati was pretty bad as well. And taking a look here at the playoff stats, or player stats from this season, Homer Caffey led the team in scoring just ahead of Nate Ament. This looks like it's going to be Caffey's team very soon. Julian Collins was also really good. But yeah, as Boozer gets older, Nate Ament gets older, we're going to need new faces to carry us throughout the end of this rebuild. There was a moment where I could have gotten Jackson Richardson, but I turned it down because he was making a ton of money. We're taking on him in the Phoenix Suns in round number 1. And like in 2022, the Mavericks beat the Suns to advance. We are going to blow a 2-0 lead to Wemby and the Spurs in round number 2. Come on. We were the 1 seed just to get bounced in round number 2. I thought the Dynasty was starting up again. Nate Ament was unreal in round number 1. Julian Collins kind of stunk. And then in round number 2, Collins was not very good. I guess Wemby got his number. That was a disaster of a playoff series for us as we lost in 6. You're going to have the Magic with the former Net Costanza winning conference player award, or the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Same with Ross Payton there in the West. And the Timberwolves win it all. This Ross Payton guy, who was the 4th overall pick in 2031 by Memphis, looks legit. So there goes Naz Reid. He retires, a Phantom legend. Jalen Hood-Schifino, Dallas Maverick legend. Oh, Luka Doncic I saw retired as well. There goes Jason Kidd. He retires. Luka heads to the Hall of Fame. And we are going to be retiring his jersey number. So Mexico City, thank you for your first round pick, as it's at number 4. We have Seattle's pick at 16. I think what I'm going to do for future rebuilds is I'm going to turn on the step-in rule. As annoying as it is sometimes in 2K, I think it could go a long way. So I'm actually going to try to trade for the number 1 overall pick. Philadelphia has it. We have made a big trade with Philadelphia in the past, and I'm willing to offer you 4, 16, 34. I don't know if I have any other players to throw in here. 4 pick 1. Do I have a player that I would throw in? Could throw in Jing Wong. I could throw in Christopher Page, who was the 18th overall pick as well a couple years ago. They're going to say no to that. I do have this Blazers first rounder next year, which they're going to accept that. That is a nice offer for the number 1 overall pick. And that means we're going to take Peter Simmons, a power forward out of VTech. And hopefully he can be the power forward for the future, or for the foreseeable future, I would say, eventually down the line. Because obviously we do have some talent there. Right now, we're going to pick up all of these team options. I don't know why I'm blanking on who my power forward is. I guess it's Native Ment, right? Yeah. Maybe he's going to be the successor to him eventually. Glenn Newman might as well extend the qualifying offer to. Here in free agency, Glenn Newman wants $50 million. Why do you want $50 million? What have you done so far to warrant that much money? Yeah, we're going to lose out on Rolando Hendricks. I am not paying him that much money. Even though I could, I'm not going to. And we did get back Glenn Newman on the qualifying offer. This is the last year of Caden Boozer's contract. I don't think we have a successor to him, so probably going to hopefully get him on a cheaper extension. Homer Caffey's also going to be a free agent at the end of the year. And Caden Boozer wants $60 million. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be paying him that type of money at the end of the year, because we got a Caffey extension coming soon. We got a Collins extension coming soon in a couple years. And Native Ment's already making $60 million. So Abe Bass is now in Golden State, and he's just won MVP. He's a 99 overall right now. He's having an incredible career. Also, if we look at the NBA history, so here have been all the finals MVPs and the champions. So we won the first 5, and then there was a ton of league parity after that, which is nice to see. If we look at the MVPs, we have just those Luka. Well, we had the 4 MVPs, 4 to the first 5 years with Luka. Then Cameron Boozer dominated. And it's been Abe Bass on 2 different teams, and Reggie Williamson. If we look at the depoys, yeah, Wemby's got a ton right now. There was a stretch where he only had like 2 in like 6-7 years, but he's back to winning them. So yeah, Homer Caffey's already a 95 overall. He's gonna get a big contract here. So yeah, obviously it's a new day for me. Carson Parks, maybe not the shooter I would have liked him to be. I wonder what his role is going to be going forward, because I like him as a 6-man, and $18 million in this year honestly isn't the craziest thing. We're taking on Cade Cunningham, Ian Jackson, and the Anchorage Blizzard. A good team, I guess, for them. They are the 8th seed. I think this is the first time we've seen a team like them at least go up against us in the playoffs. And then Pittsburgh, I think, is the first expansion team to win a playoff series. Native Ment balls out in round number 1. He drops 25 points against Anchorage. Homer Caffey 19.5. Caden Boozer about 16.5. We're taking on Denver in round number 2. Do they have a 45-year-old Nikola Jokic? They do not. Let's see if we're able to beat Denver and advance to the conference finals. We do. So we are 8-1 in the playoffs so far. Native Ment and Homer Caffey, that duo is just working. We're taking on the LA Lakers, who have Cooper Flagg and Bradford Randall. So he didn't re-sign with New Orleans. He signed with the Lakers. They have an elite 3, 4, and 5. And Mackenzie Mbako at the 2. Is he a former? No, he's not a former Maverick. Lamar Jenkins looks pretty good too as a 6-man. So that's a good team. Can we beat them? Yes, we can. We win in 5. Caden Boozer takes home conference finals MVP. Ace Bailey in the East. And here we are, Bulls and the Mavericks in the NBA Finals. The Mavericks take game number 1. We win 126-122. Game number 2 is going to go to the Dallas Mavericks, 117-115. Homer Caffey with 21. Collins with 18, 8, and 7. Game number 3 goes to the Bulls. Game number 4 goes to the Bulls. And game number 5 goes to the Bulls. Just like that, we are down 3-2. They won game 3 by 1. They blow us out of the building in game 4. And they beat us by 16 in game 5. Are we going to lose in 6? No, we force a game 7. Here we go. Game 7 of the 2039 NBA Finals. Mavericks, Bulls. Can we get another one to our trophy case? Or are the Bulls going to pull this off at home? They're up by 11 right now. They're up by 9 with 4:44 left. And we are going to lose game 7 by 12. Damn, we had it. We were up 2-0. We go to a game 7. That sucks. Ace Bailey is your finals MVP. He is 32 years old right now. That is insane. All right. So In the finals, yeah, Homer Caffey averaged 20 points. Julian Collins really struggled in the finals, 36% from the field. Carson Park struggled, which is unfortunate. And yeah, we lose in 7. Isaiah Stewart retires. Anthony Edwards, Scotty Barnes, Mobley, Duran. Yeah, we're seeing a ton of guys retire at this point here in 2039. Just trying to see if our head coach retires. Does not. And Mobley, Pablo, and Scotty Barnes all head to the Hall of Fame. 2 guys from the 21 draft class, 1 from the 2020, and 1 from the 2022. All of them got their jerseys retired. Here we are in the draft lottery. Do we see any Mavericks here with the 20 picks in the lottery? That is kind of insane. I do not see any Mavericks now. So the Hornets win the lottery. You have the Warriors at number 2 and the Cincinnati Royals at number 3. We do own our first round pick at 35. So we drafted Harris Philman here with the 35th pick out of Romania. It's crazy that there's 35 picks in the first round. As the number 1 pick, Trevor Baldwin looks really good. He's going to the Charlotte Hornets, who is for number 2, and Phil Reed, number 3. Julian Collins is a 93 overall. Jesse Galloway, we're going to pick up that team option as well. Samuel Collins will get the qualifying offer. Homer Caffey, I'm going to pay him whatever he wants. But Samuel Collins, we may not be able to bring back. I'm not sure. I'm looking to see if I want to maybe shed some money. I mean, Caden Boozer is a free agent as well. Peter Simmons, number 1 overall pick, is making a lot of money right now to come off the bench. So Caden Boozer wants $62 million. That's a lot of money. We can maybe work something out. I'll see what we can do. Glenn Newman, we may not be able to bring back, but we'll see if that price goes down. So we are going to get Caden Boozer back, 3 years, 139, which I like a little bit more than like a 5-year deal going to him right now. So we are going to let go of Felipe Gomez, Keith Potter, Kelshin Todd, and Ross Snow, just guys that were like at the end of our roster. So we're going to figure out if we're going to bring back, I mean, we're definitely bringing back Homer Caffey. I just don't know if we're going to be able to bring back Sam Collins and Glenn Newman. And Homer Caffey takes my deal, 5 years, $191 million. I feel like that's a very good deal. So the best free agent remaining, it's Jackson Richardson. Yeah, like I don't know if these guys are going to go unsigned. Paul Scott, like pretty good player. Jamal Brand goes back to the Denver Nuggets. He's one of the best players in the league. Same with Abe Bass. He's a 99 overall as well. There's JJ Andrews, who dominated in Miami and in Boston to start things off. So we do get Samuel Collins back on the qualifying offer, but we were not able to bring back Glenn Newman. So Nate Ament regresses a little bit, but Homer Caffey's up to 94. Like this is like the Kobe and Shaq, Julian Collins and Homer Caffey going forward. Caden Boozer's a 91 overall. Samuel Collins is an 87. He'll probably be the 6th man once again. All right, so this is what we got this year. Boozer, Caffey, Collins, Ament, and Julian Collins. So with Newman gone, Collins is going to be the starting small forward. We're going to have Peter Simmons, Carson Parks, Jesse Galloway, and Jin Wang all off the bench. System proficiency is 4.5 star balanced under Joe Maz. Hopefully we can go back to the NBA Finals, but hopefully this time win it. So AJ Debanta wins MVP. Trevor Baldwin, the number 1 overall pick, is your Rookie of the Year. Dylan Mingo is your 6th man of the year. He was the 9th overall pick and was pretty good for the Chicago Bulls. He won a couple of awards with them. Tyron Stokes is your Depoy. All right, so it's no longer Wemby. And we do get Homer Caffey on all NBA second team. I think it's becoming his team now. Move over Nate Ament. So we are the 1 seed in the Western Conference. We're taking on the Pelicans in round number 1. We finished this year with a 67 win season, 13.4 point differential. Is that the most wins we've gotten in a season? It is one more than the 2026 season where we won 66 games. And obviously this team is led by Homer Caffey, Nate Ament, Julian Collins. And I have like an idea what I'm going to do this offseason. And it'll be pretty interesting to see when that time comes. We are now 5-star system proficiency balance. Let's go. So we're taking on the Pelicans in round number 1. This team right now no longer like has Cooper Flagg or anybody like that. They do have Zachary Risache, who is 35 years old. Let's see if we're able to beat them and move on to round number 2, which we were able to sweep them. Let's take on the LA Clippers, who have Cannon Catchings from BYU. Cam Stewart, JJ Andrews is there. It's a good team for sure. Are we able to beat them though? We do. In 7 games. All right, Nate Ament drops 29 in game 7. And we're taking on the Lakers, who no longer have, they do have Bradford Randall, but he is now moved to the bench. He was good for us. I don't know if he's ever reached his peak of the player we thought he could have been. And we are going to go back to the finals. Julian Collins, your conference finals MVP, and we're getting a rematch against Ace Bailey and Cameron Boozer of the Chicago Bulls. This will be good. I mean, Cameron Boozer's been there for 14 years. Glenn Newman is now on the Bulls. Look at that. So game 1 against Chicago goes to Dallas. Game 2 goes to Chicago. 3 goes to Chicago. 4 goes to Chicago. Damn. Can we maybe come back down 3-1? Nope. They beat us in 5. So last year they beat us in 7. This year they beat us in 5. Sucks. So the Bulls are the main reason why we don't have 2 more rings. Homer Caffey doing all he could in the finals. Nate Ament. My idea was that this was going to be the last year of him as a Dallas Maverick, and I think that is true. As Shea retires, Cade Cunningham, Asor Thompson, Bilal Coulibaly, Bronny James actually spent 15 years in the league and was actually a pretty good player. Also, I noticed Derek Queen retired as well. He was obviously a decently long tenured Dallas Mavericks. So let's see what staff retirements. Do we see Joe Maz? We do not, which is good. Cade and Shea head to the Hall of Fame. Both of them get their jerseys retired. So I'm going to make this trade where you're going to send Nate Ament back to the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm giving them my 2042 first round pick. Obviously, he was the main guy we got in the Luka Doncic trade back in the 2031 offseason, and he was a very good player for us. But we're going to send him back to the team that drafted him. We're getting Donnie Freeman as well, who I think I may look to trade. Yeah, because the goal of this trade was to get some depth. So we're going to send Donovan Freeman over to Pittsburgh. We're going to get Isaiah Evans, the former Duke Blue Devils, playing there currently with like Cooper Flagg and Concanippo. He's 34 years old. And we're getting Jared Falls, who's a center that could be movable. I just really wanted to get depth with all these moves. And there isn't really like a clear 1.1 in this draft, so I'm fine having the second overall pick. It's Leo Hunter out of Syracuse with the number 1 selection. So we are picking here at number 2. I looked at Junior James, who I feel like I had in the 20-year Warriors rebuild, somebody like that. We could take Carlos Santos. We could take Jeff Evans. And I'm going to go with Junior James, a little bit of a risky pick here. And it looks like it was the best overall pick in the draft, though, which is a good sign. We also had pick 35. We took Art Stewart Jr., a point guard. Pick up the team option on Peter Simmons, who's going to be the starting power forward next year with Nate Ament gone. We're about to pay Julian Collins a ton of money in free agency. And Julian Collins gets a deal from the Cincinnati Royals. We are going to be matching that. 3 years, $152 million. Also going to re-sign Jesse Galloway to a 5-year deal to be the backup center. I know that's a lot for a backup center, but at least it could provide us a trade asset if needed. And if I could afford Samuel Collins, I'm going to bring him back on a 2-year deal, and it looks like we can for $83 million. So this team should be a lot deeper this year. I think I'm going to look to move Jared Falls for a guard, and I'm going to trade him for Travis Stanley, who I believe was a former top 10 overall pick by the Brooklyn Nets in this most recent draft. So here's our team with Caden Boozer starting to regress. He does have 2 years left on his deal, but it is Homer Caffey and Julian Collins' team. They're both 23. And Cameron Boozer wins MVP again. I feel like this league has to run through Chicago, as Wemby is still winning DPOYs in year 18 as a 37-year-old. Homer Caffey was the only person to make an all-NBA team this season, as he ended up averaging 20 points per game. Julian Collins averaged 21, 10, and 6, and his efficiency was unreal as well. I'm excited to see what these guys can do as the top options in the playoffs. Peter Simmons was pretty good. There's Jesse Galloway off the bench, Caden Boozer, Carson Parks. Samuel Collins was okay. And we're taking on Mexico City here in round number 1. We're at the point where I'm not going to know many of these players anymore. They do have Tyrone Grant Foster from Grand Canyon, who's playing there currently. And we are going to sweep them here as we are once again. Sorry, I did not show you our record this year, 59-23. Not as good as we were last year. I don't think as good as Chicago, which is kind of scary. But in round number 1, it was the Caffey and Collins show. Exactly what I want to see. In round number 2 here against the Clippers, we're down 3-1. Are you kidding me? Don't do this to me. Oh my God, we lost in 5. Okay. Well, the first year without Nate Ament, we were not even able to make it to the conference finals. Collins and Caffey played well, but not what I wanted to see whatsoever. Caden Boozer, how have you been for us? Like, you're efficient. You get your assist. You're a good playmaker. And of course, the year we're in, or we're eliminated before the NBA Finals, Chicago lost in round number 2 to Detroit as the Raptors win in 7. And Hugo is your Finals MVP, a rematch of the 2019 NBA Finals. Grady Dick retires, Bub Carrington, Rob Dillingham, T-John Salon, Ian Jackson. So players that are not even in the NBA in current day are retiring now. Chet Holmgren was the only player to make it to the Hall of Fame. And I actually think I'm going to fire Joe Mazzulla. Yeah, we're going to go with a different head coach to finish things off. I'm going to give Ime Udoka a nice contract. I don't know if there's going to be any other like notable head coaches. Is that Paul Pierce? No, it's Percy Pierce. It's a shame too, because a lot of these head coaches have retired. I don't know if I want to go with any of these. Alex Ajinka, I mean, he's an assistant. I'm just going to get turned down. Clifton Wembanyama. Nah, I don't want a post-centric guy. Okay, we actually do get Ime Udoka to be the next head coach. And we took Cody Buchanan in round number 1 and Clifford Spencer in round number 2. This draft honestly didn't seem the greatest. Peter Simmons, we are going to pick up his team option. Like, a rookie contract being $27 million on your team deal is insane. And we're going to make this trade with the Hornets. I'm going to be getting Corey Henderson in exchange for Jesse Galloway. Henderson could eventually be the Caden Boozer replacement. And we're going to bring back Carson Parks on a 4-year deal worth about $80 million. All right, the Sonics got an MVP. Ralph Drew, who put up 32.7 rebounds and 4 assists. He was the 13th overall pick from Drake a few years ago. And Julian Collins is on all NBA first team. Man, he could be winning an MVP before it's all said and done in this video. We were the 4th seed, though. All right, we're taking on the Lakers in round number 1. A little bit disappointing just because we've been the 1 seed the last couple of years. Now that we have a new head coach, maybe that's different. You could say we were better than the Sonics and Spurs due to point differential, but I don't know. I feel like we weren't achieving what we could. Caffey and Collins are running the show. We have Peter Simmons, who's kind of like a third option now. Corey Henderson maybe is better than Caden Boozer at this point. Then you have Samuel Collins, Carson Parks, Isaiah Evans, and then the rookie Junior James. So we're playing Caffey a ton. We're playing Julian Collins a ton. Let's not lose in round number 1. We lose game 1, and then we won 3 straight, and we win in 6. So we beat the Lakers to advance to round number 2. Julian Collins is that dude. This number 1 pick is an absolute beast. So we're taking on San Antonio in round number 2. They still have Wemby. How old is he? He's 38 years old. They've Ben Baldwin at the 4. They have AJ DeBanza, Cameron Holmes, Darnell Parker, Brad Ferguson, Frederick Huggins. Let's see what happens here. Battle of Texas, and we lose in 6. And Anchorage is in the Western Conference Finals. Okay. And then you have Chicago and Orlando over there in the East. And it's the DeMar DeRozan Bowl in the NBA Finals. And the Spurs win it all with AJ DeBanza winning Finals MVP as a 35-year-old. And we got 2 more years left, and I haven't won an NBA title, I feel like, in quite some time. The last title we won was in 2037, so it's been 5 years, and we've only won 1 since 2029. Yeah, we have gone a decent amount of time without a ring. I'd like to win 2 to end things off, so I think we're going to be kind of active this offseason, building around Homer and Julian Collins. So the number 1 overall pick, Art Ball, looks really good. A lot of Arts, a lot of Abes in these auto-generated draft classes. Going to pick up everybody's option right there. Henderson and Simmons, welcome back. Wait a second. Don't tell me Caden Boozer retired. Don't tell me Caden Boozer retired, because now it's just showing me everybody that retired. Or is he a free agent? He may actually just be a free agent. And he is, yeah. So we have a lot of free agents. Isaiah Evans, Collins. Okay, yeah, a lot of guys are here. And we're going to bring back Boozer, Evans, and Collins, Henderson, and Simmons, who are restricted free agents. We're going to wait a little bit on. Hopefully they don't get any deals throughout moratorium, and they do not. And we are going to trade for last year's MVP, Caden Boozer, who has been here for a while. We got him from Philly. And yeah, he has spent a bunch of years here. He's won an NBA title with us. He's gotten a Western Conference Finals MVP. We're going to move him, Isaiah Evans, and Jay Cardinal for Jeff Evans, a former 4th overall pick that hasn't really played a ton for Seattle. But we're getting last year's MVP, Ralph Drew, who's an expiring contract. It's a big trade. And we also need to do a little bit of salary cutting as well. So we are going to move Samuel Collins to Utah for Zachary Risachet, who's 37 years old, and Kyle Rice, but those guys could still be on the move. And we're going to trade Risachet in a future first for Willard Hughes, who was the 4th overall pick in 2041, and Joseph Fleming. I believe I have to take on Fleming, or yeah, because this trade won't be able to go through. Of course, they're going to counter it, so let's just do that. I'm a little worried because I tried signing Peter Simons and Corey Henderson at the same time, and now I can't afford Corey Henderson. I don't know how much I need to save. It would have to be a ton of money because we're at a negative. It would have to be like, I think, another $30 million. But I don't know if it revoked his restricted free agency tag. So, like, it says he's a restricted free agent, but usually you could see that there's a qualifying offer and your pending offers are in there, and there isn't one there. So I either need somebody to offer Henderson a deal so I can match it, or I got to make a trade because he's going to be my starting point guard. All right, easy trade here. Jeff Evans going to St. Louis for 2 future first-round picks. And thank God, now I can sign Corey Henderson, the 6'1" point guard, because I was going to be a little nervous if we were going to lose him. So we do have a $60 million trade exception now, and it sucks I had to move Samuel Collins to do all that, but we got Corey Henderson at the 1, we got Homer Caffey at the 2, Parks and Hughes coming off the bench, we got the last year's MVP and Ralph Drew at the 3, Peter Simons at the 4, Julian Collins at the 5. Let's win some rings to end this thing off. And there it is. I said we were going to get it. Julian Collins is your MVP at the end of the 2043 season. I think he had better numbers last year too, so hopefully he can carry us to an NBA Finals. We'll see. Ime Udoka, Coach of the Year, we go 64-18. Of course, Caden Boozer leaves us, and he's on. Oh my God. All right. Well, he's probably playing 40 minutes a night in Seattle. Either way, we're the 1 seed in the Western Conference. We're going to be taking on the Mexico City Flight in round number 1. Ralph Drew's numbers go down a little bit because he wasn't playing a ton, but we're going to play these guys a lot more for the playoffs. Like, I want Collins getting 40 minutes a night. I want Ralph Drew getting 40 minutes a night. I want Homer Caffey getting 40 minutes a night, and then we're going to go probably 34 to Anderson, and then we'll do 34 to Peter Simons. We're playing these guys a ton. Round number 1 against Mexico City. Hopefully we're able to beat them in advance. Oh my God. We go 64-18 with the MVP, and we lost in round 1. Oh, that glitch is in full effect. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, Julian Collins, you won MVP, and then, oh, you would just be getting reamed out on Twitter. Corey Henderson played well. Peter Simons played well. Homer Caffey was like fine. Not the Homer Caffey we know. Oh my God, man. Coach of the Year, MVP, all for what? As we're about to watch the Bulls win it all. I mean, the Flight have made it. Oh my God, they won it all as an 8 seed. They were a play-in tournament team and they won it all. Okay, I guess they were the team of destiny. Nothing we can do. That sucks so much. I wonder if we're going to retire Concantiple's jersey because he did just retire. We do. He was here for 12 years, so it makes sense. We do have the 8th overall pick via the Jazz here, so man, the Jazz have given us a ton of picks throughout this rebuild. All right, I'm looking for an upgrade. I'm sending Carson Parks, that pick, and another first rounder, Minnesota's first, back to them. We're getting Bernie Morrison, who's going to come off the bench for us, a score first guard out of Iowa. Collins, oh my God, he opts out. Why did whatever deal I match him have to have an opt-out? I saw somebody, like, I think it was Jamal Brand, just opted out of like $86 million. That is insane. Collins wants 70 mil. Am I going to be able to afford him? Please tell me I can afford him. Actually, I don't even think I can, like, cheap out a little bit here. I think I got to give him like $60 million the max. I'm worried that he leaves. And we're probably going to lose out on Ralph Drew. I don't think I can afford Drew and Collins. So that sucks. And obviously, I'm going to take Collins. So, oh man, does Ralph Drew end up signing elsewhere? He did not, but I think I have to wait. He's going to sign with the Pelicans, right? Unless he makes it past moratorium, I can't risk it because I need to sign Collins. And yeah, Ralph Drew ended up signing with the Pelicans. So I traded all that for 1 year of an MVP to lose round 1 to an 8 seed. Man, the first 5 years of this rebuild were going so well. And I did get a championship like 8 years ago, but I feel like we have been underachieving since. And if Caffey and Collins can't get it done, maybe they were never meant for the bright lights. And Julian Collins wins MVP once again. But does it matter if we lose in round number 1? As we go 71-11. If we lose in round number 1, 71-11 here in the final year, can we just please go out with a bang? So throughout this season, our leading scorer was actually Homer Caffey. We have Julian Collins, number 2. He won MVP. Bernie Morrison, really good. Thought about making him a small forward for the playoffs, which I definitely could, or just make Homer Caffey one. But we have Junior James, who was the 2nd overall pick. I think we traded Nate Amen for him. Yeah, pretty good player. So I'm fine with him starting. I'm just nervous. I don't know. Like, we were the 1 seed last year and it didn't matter. We had by far the best point differential. Oh my God, in the Western Conference. This was our best record yet. For the playoffs, I think we're going to go like Travis Stanley, not a bad player, but he's going to get like 10 minutes tonight. Willard Hughes is going to get like 14 minutes tonight. Kyle Rice, who's kind of the backup big, he can get like 16 minutes tonight because I'm going to go 37 to Collins, 27 to Morrison. That's fine with me. Peter Simons can get 34. I would like to go 38, 39 to Caffey. We can do 30 to James, and let's do the rest to Corey Henderson. Round number 1 against the Clippers. Do they have anybody that we would still know? I know JJ Andrews was in that 2027 draft class. He's still going strong. As we're going to gentlemen sweep them. All right, we get off to a good start. We end up winning in 5. Simmons, Caffey, Collins, all doing their jobs. Junior James, everybody played well pretty much. Taking on Seattle in round number 2. They robbed us in that Ralph Drew trade. They still have Caden Boozer, who probably wants to prove us wrong and destroy us, but we'll see what happens. We destroyed them. We just swept them, and we're taking on the 7-seeded Blazers here in the conference finals. Let's go. So here we go. 7-seeded Blazers, VJ Edgecombe, Lamar Jenkins, who was that Laker. Let's see if we're able to beat them and go to the NBA Finals, please. Let's go. Let's go. 22-10-7 for Julian Collins. And what's a better way to top things off year number 20, the final year, than beating the team that beat us for 2 straight years a couple years ago? They still have Cameron Boozer, still have Ace Bailey. Did they have Ace Bailey from the jump? No, he was a Rocket, he was a Laker, and then he really found a home here. He's 37, Cameron Boozer is 36, and they're still going strong. They are unreal. All right, let's do this. Bulls, Mavericks, game 1 goes to Dallas. We end up holding them to 18 in the 4th. I think we just want it more. Game 2 goes to Dallas, 119-112. Game number 3 goes to Chicago. All right, so I think in the first time we played them, we were up 2-0, and then they won 3 in a row. Oh my God, I'm getting deja vu. They blow us out in game number 4. Oh my God, Homer Caffey, 6 of 20, 5 of 12 for Simmons, 10 of 20 for Collins. And we do take game 5. That was huge. We scored 52 in the 4th. Julian Collins with a 34-point triple-double. Homer Caffey played well. Peter Simmons played well. Game number 6 goes to Chicago. Oh my God. All right, so game 7, when we played them the first time around, was in Chicago. Game 7 is in Dallas. I am so nervous. This is year 20. This is it. This is the last chance we have of getting a ring. We're up by 14 on them. We have a terrible third quarter, but we're up by 13. Don't blow this. We're up by 15, and we are going to finally get our revenge, and we finally beat the Chicago Bulls. Julian Collins, I think, is going to complete the trifecta. MVP, I think he got conference finals MVP, and now finals MVP, all in the same season. He's going to go down to, like, be the next best player since Luka Doncic probably here, and that's going to top off year number 20 of this Dallas Mavericks rebuild. So let's go through and just kind of see some of the history here. I can't believe we started off with 5 straight rings, and then I blew it up a little bit after that, after some early exits, and we went on a little bit of a drought. We did not win a title from 2030 to 2037, and that was Caden Boozer getting Finals MVP, and that was the only one that we had until 2044. So we won 2 rings out of like the next 15 years. Maybe not the best after winning 15 to start things off. Chicago was probably the next best team throughout this. But yeah, we had a lot of parity in the league. Like you could see Minnesota winning, San Antonio, Toronto, OKC, Mexico City got a ring, which is pretty cool. Looking at these MVPs, we had Julian Collins win 2. We had Luka win a bunch. Cameron Boozer won a bunch. Abe Bass, Reggie Williamson, AJ Debanta won it late in his career, which is cool. Wemby took home a lot of depoys. So did Ace Bailey, though. Most improved. Did we get any most improved awards? I thought we maybe did early on, but I guess not. Clutch players, we did not get any unless Luka got it at one point, but it doesn't look like he did. And then, yeah, so that was a pretty successful rebuild. I would say 7 rings is good. Like, I will take that. If we look at the team records here, let's look at season records. Do we get any? I'll look at the league records as well after this. I'm just going to go through these quickly. Luka, obviously, he's going to have a bunch. Homer Caffey, 3-pointers made in the season. He's making this list a ton. Luka, obviously, free throws. Julian Collins and rebounds. Yeah, he was a beast, dude. He really was. Luka, an assist. Luka was also one of a kind for us. Derek Lively, blocks. Like, forgot about the Derek Lively era. Him and Daniel Gafford were here. I think Gafford was here longer than I thought. Caden Boozer in turnovers. Not where you want to be. That is not what Caden Boozer looked like throughout this rebuild. Points per game. We did have Luka at some points throughout this. Field goal percentage, ton of Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. So I don't know about career. Like, they may need to retire, but like total points, do we see anybody new? We do not. Like, Luka finished 6th all time. I feel like that's not even correct. Like, I feel like he had to have more than 11,000 points for us. So I feel like this one has to be off a little bit. 3-pointers made, 455. He had, wow, 40 or 53 more than what Steph did in 2016. Mitchell Norris for the Milwaukee Bucks. That's pretty crazy. Is that going to be like the only record that was broken in a season? Minutes as well. Brandon McCoy. Yeah, oh, that's the glitch. That was the expansion glitch. So I guess that makes sense for turnovers as well. That's why they're up here. Also, Dante Exum for Milwaukee in 2026 at the 3-point percentage record. All right. Wow. DJ Wagner, these guys didn't miss a single free throw. That's also unreal. And I think that's what we're going to see. So for career, I don't know if we're going to see anything too crazy here. Bub Carrington currently leading the free throw percentage record all time. But yeah, total points. VJ Edgecombe, number 6. Shea is number 4. Yeah, Luka, unless he just had 22,000 points for the Sixers, but I don't believe that. Anthony Edwards is top 10 all time. There's AJ Debanta. Okay, so we are seeing some guys climb the leaderboards. VJ Edgecombe, man, number 6 all time in scoring. That is insane. He's number 2 all time in 3-pointers made. That is insane. Cameron Boozer 7 all time in free throws made. I don't know if anybody. Oh, Wemby is number 6 all time in rebounds. Come on, while you watch, is number 7. Assists. Luka Doncic is number 2. I don't think he's passing John Stockton. No, Caden Boozer is number 9. There's blocks where you see Wemby is number 2. And that is going to be for me. I hope you guys did enjoy that 20-year Dallas Mavericks rebuild. Let me know what you guys think of it down below. Let me know if there's any changes you want to the blowing things up. I think I may have like more of set goals for these long rebuilds going forward. So make sure you are subscribed. Let me know in the comments which team we should do a 20-year rebuild with next. And I'll catch you guys in that one. Peace.